Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of this. It is Friday night. No, it's Saturday night. Fuck, I don't even know the day of the week anymore. I have some beers out. I also, back behind me, have some Blue Menu. What? Sparkling water, peach mango sparkling water. I like sparkling water. I'm old, okay? I like sparkling water. I'll try not to drink any beer until somebody's in either the comments or here. So, time's been interesting. There are a bunch of beer-related topics to talk about for the first time in a long time. Why am I getting a text message? Who the hell is texting me? Oh, first quarter update for the Rough Riders. Yeah. Oh. I see somebody here. I guess that means I have to start drinking some beer. Good day, Brian. Give me a second to get my headphones on.
Well, it's okay.
I wasn't wearing them because, I was by myself.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm about to eat my food, and I was going to ask you what I should drink.
What are you going to drink? What are your choices?
Well, I put some of your beers in the fridge. So I've got honey garlic wings, and I've got pizza here. So let me pull out what I got. Or more like what I chilled. And you tell me which is the one to go with. I should have had these out before I clicked in. All right, let's see what we got here. So I got that Sea Change Man Crush Mandarin Ale. I don't know if that's going to go with pizza and wings. Yes or no?
I mean,
we'll work this into a yes and no, and then we'll go to the yes pile.
No.
Okay. I've got the Wolf Hazy Pale Ale.
That could possibly work.
All right, I'll put that on the other side. I've got the Black Buck Imperial Lager.
Yeah, that would probably work.
All right. I've got the Metaphor Beer Company Code Red. Strong beer.
Yeah, that would probably actually work with pizza and wings as well.
All right. I got two more to pick from here. I've got oh my god, New Level, the Blonde Ale, the Berserker Blonde.
Yeah, that one would do well with that pairing.
All right. Then the other one I have in here is the Electric Reaper, Juicy IPA.
I don't think that would go well with it.
Okay.
It's good. You might actually like that one, but I don't think it's going to go with what you're eating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about going with what I'm eating, so. All right, so I put those two away. Now we'll break down these. We got those four left.
1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just getting yelled at.
That's okay. So, the Hazy Pale Ale, the Wolf.
Okay, so the Wolf will be a good beer to cleanse your palate or to emphasize anything with any spice or that. So with the honey garlic, probably not, but if you have a bunch of meat on the pizza, it'll probably help cut the salinity and stuff.
Okay, so that will not be my first beer because I'm doing the wings first.
Okay. So
I'll save that one for the
other
pizza.
Three you have in there are basically your average kind of beer. So the
Yeah.
blonde Berserker would probably work really well. The Code Red may, and
Yeah.
the Big Buck may.
Okay. All right. I'll go with the Berserker Blonde for my first drink. Yeah, I bought some of Jane's honey garlic chicken wings at Giant Tiger. My dinner tonight, along with a pizza I made.
I haven't
Oh,
had a Jane's wing in a very long time, mostly because we were in the Arctic so long that it just wasn't something that was, well, it was there, but they were like $27 for a box, so I just never bought them.
it was like $7 at Giant Tiger.
Yeah, no, that is a
And
big
and
difference in price. Like,
and the pizza was from Volcano that they sell at Giant Tiger here. So last week it was on sale for like $5.97, regular $9.99. So I was like, oh, maybe it's still on this week. Go in there, it wasn't on. But when I checked out, it rang up on the sale price. So
so
I
you got
got
three
the
one, eh?
yeah wings, pizza under $15, and I added toppings to the pizza here because there's a pepperoni from the store. So
Yeah. Well, that's not bad.
no, not at all.
Yeah, I got some beers out here. One of them was sent to me from you. Actually, I
Oh
think
yeah,
two of them. I got my Innocent Gun original.
I figured you would be excited with seeing that one for a
I
little
have the
retro.
Pink Fuzz from Beyond the Pale. And then we have what I went out to get today from District Brewing, the Nitro Death.
Ooh,
And then we have a beer I reviewed just last night. It is the Great Western Winter Bitter, which is it's actually just a ordinary bitter, which really got me excited. Then we have from Blackbridge the Cold Pressed Cream Ale.
ooh.
What do we got? Light color, distinctive taste.
Is there
Okay.
anything is there anything you have there that you sent me?
I don't think so, but there's some stuff here that will be being sent to you.
Oh,
And then the
that's
Vienna
gonna
Lager.
that's gonna say I'll throw one in the fridge, and if it's one of the later beers, I'll have it at the same time.
No, the only stuff I think I have here that you know what, I could probably pull out a Code Red or a Black Buck later and do those with you.
Oh, if you want, it's an option.
I got a bunch of those in the fridge.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to I should probably eat my food.
All right, enjoy.
I'll I'll bounce out of here and should I or should I just I don't want to be on I don't need you to see me sloppily eating.
Just don't eat with your nose.
Yeah. Which chat is easier for you to read? The one on this or the one on YouTube?
Oh, I can do both because I mean the one on this. Well, the YouTube one, I can actually add it to the screen from the side, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just texting my wife because what she yelled at me was dinner.
Huh. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll jump onto YouTube so that way other people can, if anyone else pops in, they can be part of the conversation.
Okay.
All
Whatever.
right.
You have the link, sir.
Yeah. I'll see you in a little while. I'll be sitting in the chat.
All
So,
right.
all right. Peace.
Peace. Sorry, guys. I'm just texting the wife. There we go. So I was going to say, we actually have some beer news that has come out in the last while. There was a bunch of stuff. Yep, there he is. Boom. There's a bunch of stuff that has come out in the last while. There's a bunch of stuff that I was ignoring because I didn't know when we were going to get to do another interview with the Rhino segment. So it's just stuff that hasn't happened yet. And there's some of it that I have to actually find again to even talk about. And then there's some stuff that is perfectly normal. But yeah, now that somebody's in the chat room, I said I wouldn't drink anything till somebody was there. I guess that means I got to pour some beer. You know what? What is the ABV of this guy? You know what? That one might go back in the fridge later. Who knows? Let's start with the Vienna style lager from Pile of Bones here in Regina. I'm actually a fan of a lot of Pile of Bones stuff, and I'm not a fan of some Pile of Bones stuff. Actually, did I send you like Coconut in Paradise or anything from Pile of Bones? Did I send you any Pile of Bones or any Rebellion stuff? Because I might have some of that stuff here too. Ooh. So that is what I like to see in my Vienna lagers. Beautiful, beautiful color. That head is amazing. Oh, I haven't had a chance to review this yet. There's one sitting in the cupboard waiting to be reviewed. So again, there's a few of these beers that I'm not going to go into blind. I do let you know if I'm not going into a beer blind. Sometimes I'll still go into a beer with a little bit of a preconceived notion on the beer because I'll know what it is. I truly went in blind when Brian was sending me the stuff he sent me. Good day. How are you? And Brian will be here soon. Hopefully some other people join again. You want to join? You want to chat? You know how to get a hold of me. But yeah, so when we review this beer, we'll have to talk about the fact that it's not being reviewed blind. There's not a lot of singles out right now. The breweries that I visit that sell singles, they don't have a lot of beers I haven't had. The problem with Multinational and their singles is Multinational is a very small brewery. So when they have stuff come out, I usually rush in there to get it, partially because it's so close to the house. I can just walk there in like 10, 15 minutes. And I try the beer and then I'm done. And they sell from singles at the brewery in stores that are in 4-packs. But I mean, if I could get this stuff as singles, holy fuck, the amount of beer I could review, the amount of beer I could buy. I could go in and buy a 2-4 like every 2 or 3, 4 weeks, regardless what it is. But there's so many beers that if I could break them into singles, I could have a lot of stuff to do reviews with. But you're not allowed. It's not what they do. So just got to hope somebody breaks a can and then you find it in the singles bucket. I saw I was at Sobeys Liquor today and they had a Bronc Blonde in the and I like Bronc Blonde. It wasn't bad, but they had it in the singles bucket. And it was like 2 for $6. And I'm like, 2 for $6? That means like 14 for 28. Right now I can buy a 15-pack for 25 on sale at another store. Why would I buy these? Like, why? I've talked we've talked about the problems with Ontario, and I mean, they're trying to solve the problems with Ontario with opening up liquor sales all over the place. And to an extent, it's somewhat working, but at the same time, it's not. But when you go to private enterprises like here in Saskatchewan, your problem is private enterprises really raise the price on your beer and your alcohol. Yeah, you can have competition and somebody can do like sales and stuff like that, but it really raises that price. We proved it with the New Level beers. Once I saw what New Level was selling for in Calgary at the brewery versus what we're paying for it. But again, a lot of these a lot of these companies are buying the beer for the same price the customer is buying the beer. It's not like in Ontario where the LCBO has the price that they'll pay you for for your beer, and then the price that they'll allow it to be sold for and stuff like that. But it's a different monster, and it changes things quite a bit. Ooh, I think I might. Pile of Bones was the other one that I was talking about. Oatmeal stout. I don't know if I have any more oatmeal stout. Let's take a swing bada bada here. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh. Let's see. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. I have a bunch of Minhas. I have some co-op gold. I still have a chocolate manifesto from Flying Monkeys. What's all back there? Ooh, what are you? Oh, you're another Code Red. What's down here? All that stuff I'm saving for beer mails. Yeah, no, I don't have any more. Ooh. Is what it is, eh? So again, Pile of Bones Vienna Lager. Now, again, this is a Vienna style lager, fairly nonchalant beer type of thing, right? You're not expecting it to be very flavorful per se. Like, it's gonna have flavor, but you're not necessarily expecting a huge. So I sent you all of them. All three of those are actually fairly good, but I don't have any of them here. The problem with them is I get a 4-pack. So I buy a 4-pack. I go, hey, I can try one. I can review one. And then I have 2 to send because I have 2 guys that I have been sending beer mails to. And I got to build one up for Guy at some point as well. But it's really hard to build them unless you plan them out well because you're buying things in 4-packs. So it would be one thing if I could go to the store and go, hey, I got to send somebody like 8 beers and just grab 8 beers and send them. It's another thing when you're like, I got to send a guy like 8 beers and then you're like, oh shit, now I got to buy 32 beer to get those 8. So you try to kill a couple birds with one stone, right? You're like, if I buy this one, I can save and that's why it takes me a little while to put these boxes together right now, because buying singles is not something that's easy. And you'd think it would be. Buying a single can of something should be a lot easier than it is. But it's just not. It's not. And it is what it is. But makes me sad. Makes me sad because I loved the trading beers aspect of beer tubing and all that type of stuff. And it just, when it gets harder to do, you get a little sad about it. Let's see if my wife has read my text message yet. Okay, she has not. So this is actually a pretty good Vienna lager. I mean, would it be a lager that everyone out there would drink? No, but it's proper for the style. I mean, it's hoppy, it's bitter, it's somewhat burnt. It has a nice caramel note. This is a great beer. I did not know what I was expecting out of this. However, what I was going to say is, so this was a Sobeys Liquor purchase. I know at Urban Cellars it's a little less, but I was at Sobeys Liquor purposely to get this because the Urban Cellars I go to didn't have it. And when I saw that this was sitting beside it, I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to try that, so let's just get it. I'm going to go live tonight. Let's just grab a beer I can drink tonight. So I grabbed it. And at Urban Cellars, I believe it's something like $16.99. At Sobeys Liquor, it was $17 or $18.99. And then you add on that's for $4. And then you add on your taxes and your. Actually, do I have the receipt in my pocket? I do. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, $17.99. I ended up paying 40 cents in deposit on it. So now your $17.99 goes up to $18.39. Then I paid $1 in GST. And then I paid $2 in liquor tax. So it was over $20 for those 4 cans. And again, that's private enterprise for you, right? Yes, there is going to be times where you'll get some amazing sales. You got to watch the flyers and stuff. And sometimes there'll be stuff that's like 2 12-packs for basically the cost of 1. But it's always going to be something that you don't necessarily want to drink. It's not the craft beer that's going to go on sale. It's stuff. Well, I mean, Great Western stuff will go on sale. So there is craft beer that will go on sale. But it's always stuff like, Rainier or Sleeman or Pabst or that type of stuff. Again, Great Western sometimes. I've seen District on sale at these places, but it's usually like, say, $2. So it's those type of things. And this, we're talking the big packs, right? We're talking the 12s and 24s. You don't really see a lot of things on the small packs. One of the singles I bought was I bought a single while I was there too, and it was $5.99. Wow. And it was just a cooler single. Blue. And when it says cooler, it means I bought it from the cooler. Then I had a cooler single red for $4.99. Then I had a cooler single SASK local for $4.99. Ooh, share your thoughts for a chance to win a liquor gift card. We'll be sharing our thoughts for sure. What do you think? I think you should sell your beer in singles, motherfuckers. Yeah, and I think that's partially to compete with the private enterprises that are now allowed to sell. And I shouldn't say compete, but to keep up with them. Because in Ontario, you're not really supposed to have big varying prices. I'm sure they've had to do a lot of changing in the wording of the legislature for selling alcohol in Ontario with all this stuff opening up. Because it used to be that whether you went to the LCBO, the brewery, or the beer store, if all 3 of them had the same beer, all 3 of them were selling it for the same price. Even when it went on sale, it was all three of them were selling it for the same price, which was a weird thing. So I think at least if it was in the same, like a can of, let's say a can of Bud, if you were to buy it at the Labatt factory, I say factory, but if you were to buy it at the Labatt brewery, you were to buy it at the beer store, or you were to buy it at the LCBO, it was all supposed to be the same price. And now that you're bringing grocery stores and stuff in, they're still trying to make a better margin than those places were. So you're seeing some variance in prices, and I think that's really changing a lot of the landscape. And then you're seeing a lot of those videos, save local craft beer. Costs are going up and this and that, and it's one of those things where when before the pandemic and when drinking was a big thing, you would see a lot of the breweries that would make the news, because they were paying their employees a living wage in Toronto, and so you're paying your employees a lot of money to work there. I mean, because a living wage in Toronto is scary. It really is. And now, as people are cutting back and the cost of everything went up during the pandemic, people are finding it harder and harder and harder to survive. And you're seeing all these breweries now fight to survive. There was one, it was Innocente. Steve Innocente put out a GoFundMe to help support his brewery for a month. And it was one of those things where he was like, I need $1,500 just to stay open. And I'm like, you only need $1,500 to stay open? Like, how little are your overheads? Are you saying you're losing $1,500 a month? Is that what you're trying to say? Because you've dug a grave with some of the things you've done, and then on top of that grave that you've dug with some of the things you've done under the name of your business, you also played games with your recipes because you were a yeast scientist and you thought, you knew enough that every different degree in temperature on the yeast would really change the beer. So you started brewing the beers at different temperatures to decide which temperature was the best, but you'd all sell it under the same name. So somebody would go in and buy like Innocent Bystander, Innocente Bystander, 6 different times, and 6 different times it was a different beer. That hurts you as well. Then you bought yourself a brewery in a plaza that had a bar right beside you. Well, that hurts you too. And then you had no food options at your brewery. Well, that hurts you too. And then the pandemic happened. And when the pandemic happened and you lost all your licensees, where your licensees were 40-50% of your clientele at the time, that hurt too. And there's a lot of breweries that had that problem. Bose, for instance, Bose losing out on getting lug tread into bars and eateries and restaurants and everything else during the pandemic. That really hurt them. And it's the type of things that are weird. And then Bose also was, partly, well, it was 100% employee owned, and the wages were pretty good. And you add everything together, and it's just a recipe for disaster in the end. And I'm not saying people should get paid less. I'm not. I really was glad we cheersed a lot of these breweries when they raised their wages and when they did everything they did to help people survive and be able to not have to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. We saluted that, and I still salute that. But you have to look at that stuff and understand how it hits your bottom line, and then prices go up. Well, the tax man ain't ever going to take a less share. And so you get the save local beer campaigns, and the campaign isn't going to do you all that much good when people can't afford to buy your product. I remember when you used to be able to buy a 2-4 of craft beer for anywhere from $50 to $72. A 2-4 of craft beer right now is like $120. There was an advent calendar being advertised here made by District Brewing and a few of the local breweries here. And the main reason I didn't buy it is I sent them a message and I'm like, 2 questions. When is this available for delivery / pickup so that I know for sure that I can get to it because my shifts are weird? And 2, Is this all core products? Never got an answer. Well, it's $150 two for. I'm not paying you $150 if you can't answer those two simple questions. It's just at this time and yes or no. And even if it was yes or no, I might have still bought it if the answer was yes, because the price isn't all that much different and it could be fun. But you couldn't answer the question. You read the question, just never answered it. So why would I ever care to go buy it? Basically, I'm like, go fuck yourself then, right? Like, but this is the same brewery that had like 4 different job opportunities open there, and I applied to all of them and didn't get a call from any of them. So maybe that was their way of telling me to fuck myself, and they didn't care what I had to say or ask or anything like that. Yeah, and did that happen before or after they were bought by Steam Whistle? And was the purchase by Steam Whistle what really made them go down to making really nothing but lug tread? Like, but then they don't make nothing but lug tread. If you go to the brewery, you can get flights and stuff. But I mean, I remember somebody that knows everything saying that, hey, you only get lug tread there. Now, I mean, at one point in time, they did really go down. They went down from making lots and lots of different beers, like say their double Coit, the Pop Goza, the Dynamite, the Sir Patrick, the lug tread light, the full time IPA, which is their other one other than lug tread, Burnt Rock, Wag the Wolf, the list would just go on. The Gruit. They had this huge list of beers, and then they started doing things like the Celebrator and all the other fun things they did. And then they started doing these things where they would mix those beers together, and that was cool too. And then they do this thing where they mix those beers together and put them in different type of casks and barrels and stuff, and that was cool too. And then all of a sudden it just switched, and it was like, here's our Radler, here's our IPA, and here's our lug tread. Take it or fucking leave it. And it was one of those weird things. I was like, really? What is going on here? Sorry, my phone just keeps beeping. Sorry. Sometimes I feel like talking to my wife is like talking to a brick wall. She goes, dinner's ready. I go, okay, I'll come up as soon as somebody gets in the panel with me so it's not dead air. Okay. Is somebody there yet? Nope. Sucks that it's just you. No, I'm not talking to just myself, but I'm the only one in the panel right now. So I'm not going to come upstairs until, well, your dinner's ready up here. Well, again, I'm not coming upstairs to grab it and bring it back down until I'm not in dead air. I'm okay. I'm a fat man. I can go a few more minutes without food. No, I'm not. Enjoy your fucking pizza. That's not what I'm saying. I'm still surprised at how good that is. I just wish it was a little more approachable for the masses. So where were we going with that? Yeah, so back to this Inocente asking for the GoFundMe for $1,500 to stay afloat. Like, okay, so your rent should be this much, your taxes should be this much, your wages should be this much, your product and overhead should be. How is $1,500 what's keeping you alive? How is that like the breaking point to staying alive and afloat? I didn't get it. I can't get how a brewery that has so many moving parts, like, was it just enough money to buy some ingredients to try and make another? Were they out of beer? Like what was it? What was it? Then on top of that, you have things like mergers. There's a lot of mergers and sales and everything else happening. There was an advertisement about Sleeping Giant in Thunder Bay merging with Newark Brewing Company in Niagara Falls. Really intriguing idea, right? I see Brian's here. Hello, Brian.
Hey, what's going on? I haven't read that article yet. I haven't read the article yet about Newark.
It doesn't give you much. It talks about
No?
Andrea Mulligan and Griffin Data. Griffin Data is the president of Newark, and Andrea Mulligan is the CEO of Sleeping Giant. And it's just like they have agreed to a merger. They both say it's going to help them, but it doesn't really explain much other than they're both going to still work out of their breweries. Now, my only thought is, are they using it as a means to play the system with the LCBOs and the beer stores? Because the beer store would give you X amount of free SKUs in the 3 closest stores to you. So is this a way to get some extra beer in other places? Like, is Sleeping Giant having a hard time getting into the LCBO in, say, Niagara? Where they're like, hey, if we merge with them, we can get some of our beers into the beer stores in Niagara. Like, is this the game?
Yeah. I can see it being a distribution thing, kind of, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at here.
Especially like being Thunder Bay, like that gives you access to Western Canada.
It kind of does. I mean, I've seen a Sleeping Giant beer here once or twice. Not often, but once or twice I've seen them.
No, but like the thought that, to get to where you are, to Thunder Bay, that would be like a really long full day drive, right? Like a 20-hour. Yeah, I don't know the hours, but
well, if I was to drive from Winnipeg to Ottawa, it was going to be something like 30 hours, and I think it's 27 or so from.
Yeah.
So it's probably
Okay.
you're probably right. It'll probably be close to a day, maybe half a day, because we are like Regina 6 hours away from
Winnipeg, right?
Winnipeg. Yeah.
And I think Thunder Bay's
Probably close to
4.
10 away.
No, but I mean 4 from Winnipeg, right? So 10 from you.
I'm going to look up what they say it takes to drive from Winnipeg to. I'm going to guess about 10 hours from.
Yeah. And then that would give Sleeping Giant potential exposure down here in the Niagara, Hamilton, Toronto.
It is 7 hours to drive from Winnipeg to Thunder Bay.
Oh,
so 13,
okay.
It would be 13 hours to Regina.
Yeah. So what's your dinner tonight?
I think she made tacos.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, so it didn't really give much information. I think it is really just a distribution thing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't talk about collaboration. It doesn't. It's just that working together working together is collaboration. But I'm saying it doesn't talk about collaborating brews or anything like that. It's just working together will help our companies.
Do you think they'll brew each other's stuff?
That is what I'm curious about, because they both have fairly large facilities, and neither of them put out that much beer. So they have empty capacity. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of people contract brewing there. So it's almost as if you brewed Newark's beer at Sleeping Giant. You have Newark's beer all up there to spread out. And then you brew Sleeping Giant beers at Newark. You have the beers to spread out. Much like the stuff that's happening at Brunswick Beer Works with breweries from Europe, and Common Good with breweries from Europe and from the States, where they're brewing the beer there to get around some of the excise laws for Canada, because they're like, hey, look, we have an outlet right here in Toronto. We brew our beer in Toronto, and then our beer just spreads out across Ontario. And we didn't have to pay excise laws because it was made in Ontario.
Huh. You can play the game.
Yeah, if you learn how to play the game, it works for you. It's just there wasn't much info on it. Now, I don't. Newark's never been a huge brewery to me anyway. Like, it's not like, ooh.
It's so easy to drive past it on the highway. Like it doesn't even draw your attention at all. The building is very, very plain, which is, obviously they got to the space that they could get.
Yep.
I think they should have some better signage. The building, if you know where you're looking, you can see it from the highway. So signage would help.
You know what? We'll do Pink Fuzz next. So this
Pink
one used to be
Who's that one by?
Beyond the Pale.
Oh, okay.
This was in your box that you had sent just some random beers that you had picked up.
Is that the last box where nothing was hidden?
Yeah, I think it was the last box.
Yeah. Oh, the Leafs just scored.
Yes, but are the Rough Riders beating the Blue Bombers?
Is that game on right now?
Yep, at Princess Auto Field.
Okay, I will. I'll double check it.
I hear that the president of Princess Auto is a huge Blue Bombers fan, so I don't know why. I kind of hope they lose so that people might be able to say certain things to certain people.
Yeah. Right now it's Winnipeg 21, Saskatchewan 9.
Okay, so
27 seconds to go.
In which quarter?
Oh, in the half. Sorry.
Okay. Well, that means that right now the president of Princess Auto probably has a giant smile on his face.
Oh, probably.
While he's sitting in his box at Princess Auto Field.
Yeah. Just remind me, I got the Leafs game on, so I can always jump back to the other game and let you know.
How about them Senators?
How'd they do today? Or did they beat the Flames?
Were they playing the Flames today?
No, the Flames were in Buffalo this afternoon, actually.
They've been going up and down, right? They'll have a game where they're amazing, and then they'll have a game where they're like, "What's going on? We don't know how to skate." It's been, as a Sens fan for as many years as I've been a Sens fan, it's been hard the last several years.
Yeah,
it's been hard.
Just cleaning the floor in front of me.
And you get excited, right? You get excited. You're like, yeah, this season's going to be different, and then it's not.
Yeah. So this beer was a good choice to eat with honey garlic, the blonde.
Yeah, it worked well.
Yes, it did.
I'm still amazed at how much cheaper that beer is if you buy it in Calgary at New Level. Now that I know how much cheaper it is, I'm really angry about how much cheaper it is.
So what's the price difference roughly?
About $10 for a 4-pack.
Holy crap. What do they justify, like, for the shipping and handling?
Well, no, it's because it's being sold at a private shop, right? So they're basically buying it from New Level for pretty much the same amount of money I would buy it from New Level. And then they have to make profit on it. So, so like I said, as much as Ontario hates the LCBO and all that, there are things about it that make it a little bit better.
Yeah. You know what? I don't go into corner stores often. And the only corner store I'd been in since the alcohol sales opened up, I went into a corner store where they don't sell it. So I don't even know what my other local stores are selling it
Hey, is
for.
this the microphone that's working right now?
That worked.
So I was curious because I'm looking over and my microphone was on its back, far away from me. I'm like, I wonder if that's the microphone that's turned on currently. Because I have three
Oh,
microphones hooked up to this computer. I just
oh
never know
yeah.
what's on.
Well, that one came through very clear. That was like a voice of God voiceover.
It's like I'm from the show Preacher.
Go to
No,
hell.
I've never watched that show.
It's a pretty good show. It gets some giggles, especially from about Arseface.
Did you did you notice the one episode shot at Fallsview Casino Resort?
No, there was an episode shot at Fallsview.
Yep.
Was that the one? Was that the one in the? I did not realize that was Fallsview. I'm gonna have to go watch the show again.
Yeah. Neptune Bar or whatever. That was Infinity.
That was the Infinity Bar.
Yep.
How did they even film that?
Well, because they put a lounge in around Infinity Bar, and
Oh, you guys have a lounge there now too?
yeah. So like that lounge was just finished, and then like a week later they came in for filming. Like they were rushing it. So
So
yeah,
you've never watched a show that was filmed
no,
there?
no,
That means a lot has changed since I left. Like a lot more than I realized.
yeah. Well, Splash was redone, so it's all completely different. Same idea. They got a giant screen, bigger screen. They just refreshed that whole at the lounge.
And what's the club like now? Is it
The
gone?
club is gone. They blew that out. We took over some stores behind it and have more slot machines. So there's actually 4 entrances to the gaming floor now.
Lots of places for servers on carts to just park.
All the carts are no longer a thing.
What?
They got rid of those.
Self-serve stations?
Those are opening up in the next couple of weeks.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. Because what do I serve on my shift? Exactly what's at the self-serve station. That's within view of my bar.
Just stand there and wave at them.
Yeah,
Hi.
you have to walk by it to get to it. You have to walk by me to get to it.
Is there still a noodle bar?
Yep, it's moving though. Because the buffet closed a year or two ago, right?
Did it?
Yep,
See, there
yep.
would be nothing to do anymore.
So the buffet closed last year. It was too expensive for what they were charging. They were losing money, and
Well, when you have a whole bunch of chefs up there cooking all the time, you will lose money.
well, the food lost, right? What they were charging versus the price of food is what was killing them. But they're going to redo the buffets, turning into high end gaming. So that's that.
Is there still an ultra lounge upstairs?
Yes, the one that they built for a player who's only come once since then.
And nobody wanted to work at?
Well, it's sort of a self-serve situation up there now.
Really?
Well, they can sort of put the bar out, they pull the bottles out. And if you're in there playing, yeah, you get whatever you want. They can request a bartender. That happens very rarely.
I guess Gizzy left at the right time. He couldn't be a mixologist anymore.
Oh, they hire mixologists now for this European bar in the Galleria called Barbarista.
That sounds like it would be right up Gizzy's alley.
Uh, Potentially, but I don't know how. It must be successful a bit, but it's like expensive. It was. I don't know. I don't want to say it right now.
Understandable.
The person's the idea where it came from. They no longer work for the company.
Well, that
They
could have been a
tried
lot.
to. They were only in the company for maybe 2 years at the most.
Oh, so it's not even somebody I would know.
No, oh no. Someone that came in from a bigger city. And they wanted to do a bigger city idea.
It
But
is what it is,
yeah,
right? As much as
yeah,
things change, they all stay the same.
yeah.
That's what it comes down to for that stuff. It all stays the same.
Oh, it's funny when they told us this idea about this, this bar barista thing. It's like, oh yeah, breakfast in the morning, not even breakfast, just like croissants, and then it'll close for a few hours, and it'll open up as a cocktail lounge in the evening. Or like, that's not going to work well. Have a six-figure cappuccino machine from Italy. That's interesting to look at in there.
Really.
Oh yeah.
I hated the cappuccino machine in the noodle bar enough.
Funny part is, if you look at the cappuccino machines inside Tim Hortons, it's the same brand, slightly different model.
Oh, as the noodle bar ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hated it because I spent so long just frothing milk. Frothing milk all the time. Just froth, froth, froth. Fuck. You know what?
There's not as much frothing anymore. Not as many cappuccino drinkers.
Let's try the cold pressed cream ale, which is a cream ale with coffee beans.
Oh, let's see. I should grab my pizza. Let me grab my pizza, and then I can let you go. You can go run and grab your food, and I'll make faces at no one.
Yeah, I think it's just me and you.
Oh, whatever.
It is what it is. I need somebody to
Yeah,
drink with.
I have all the beers out right now. I left them in the Princess Auto bag. I have them, the ones that are not in my fridge, sitting on top of my freezer right now.
Well, I did go on early too, but yeah. Go on early.
That's okay. Oh, I do have a Minhas one here.
Oh, which one?
The Rasp beer.
Oh, I have that one in the fridge too.
This one's warm. Is this a raspberry thing?
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
raspberry beer.
I don't know if I'm gonna like that one. I don't know.
It's Minhas. If you like it, I might have to fly to Niagara Falls and kick you.
The funny thing was all this time you're talking about that multinational.
Yeah.
I was not hearing it correctly. It wasn't until recent, like last week before, when you're talking about it and you show a can, like, oh, Malty. I was hearing multi, multi.
Yeah, they were playing on that, right?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, shit. I was really wrong on all of that. Just in my own little head. But, oh well. Hey, do you guys go to Costco ever?
We
Or
did.
do you have or do you have a Costco membership?
Yeah, we not anymore. We don't have a Costco membership anymore. We let ours lapse.
Uh,
For the most part, everything we can get at Costco, we can get at the superstore for the same price, or wholesale club for the same price, or sometimes cheaper, without paying a membership fee. The
yeah,
only thing Costco has going for it is it has the liquor store inside it.
yeah. Because I say you should try this for your burgers. On your burgers,
What is that?
it's a burger sauce. Yeah, it's a 2-pack. Great for
Yeah, I mean,
burgers, fries, and more.
I'm sure I can find something like that at the wholesale club. I love the wholesale club. I
Yeah,
walk in and I look at those giant, like 4 liters of soy sauce, and I'm like, I could have soy sauce for a year.
yeah. I'm actually gonna try this on some of my pizza.
We've been buying the Subway garlic aioli lately.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good. So again, this cream ale, I have not reviewed it yet. So when I go to do this, I will not be going into it blind. But my God, does it smell good?
oh yeah. Hey, so what should I be eating with my pizza? I should have told you what's on my pizza. I got hot peppers, green onions, 2 types of pepperoni, and lots of mozzarella.
Use the hazy.
Hazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll help wash off the salinity and the spice.
What is the hazy one here? Do you remember what it was called?
It was
Oh
the
shit! I think I found it. Oh yeah, the wolf, right? Sea
yeah,
change.
yep.
Ugh. It wasn't on my door; it was on my shelf.
There,
So I'm
there's
like,
my
where is
there's
it?
my coffee beer.
Ooh, interesting. I sent you one of. I sent you one of these, right? The ugly pike. I think I think that was a mystery one, right? That you did.
Yes, that was a mystery one I did.
Yeah. What did you think of it? I liked it.
What style does it say it is again?
It says Last Light Lager from Newark Brewing Company.
Yes. I remember being angered about what it said it was, but it wasn't a bad beer. It just
Yeah,
wasn't what I was expecting for what it said it was once I unraveled it.
yeah. Do you still have more mysteries left, or did you end up
I
doing them
have the
already?
one. I have the macro ones you sent that I had to get my wife to wrap, so I couldn't tell what they
Yeah,
were because I knew what the one was as soon as I pulled it out of the box.
yeah.
And then as soon as you giggled about it, I'm like, I bet you they're all that fucking type of shit. But I don't know what they are other than the one, but I don't know which one that is anymore because it's mixed in and she's rewrapped them.
Uh,
Now I don't know if she's left your tape on them, so when I do them, I have to pull that off too. I just know she's
yeah.
rewrapped them.
Well, with those ones, or the way I take them, like, I'll leave a little bit some hints out for you, so you could read something, get maybe figure something out. I knew the one that you'd be like, I know exactly what this is. I'm like, oh yeah, this one is not well hidden.
I wonder if we're thinking of the same one, or if I picked out a different one.
Well, why don't you tell me what you think you saw?
Old Milwaukee Ice. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm
What you doing?
going for a shower.
Ooh. Can I watch?
No.
Okay,
And
Brian's
the rest.
Brian's here now, so Brian's going to be in charge of the chat room while I go.
All right, what do you want me to talk about while you're gone?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
All right.
Oh God, can I get up? I'm
I
stuck.
don't know if you can get up. Is there any new comments that I can work with?
No, you're the last comment. There is no one watching right now.
Okay, so it's just me and you.
Yep. Just me and
All
you.
right.
Oh,
All
the 50-50 draws at $320,000 right now, Alicia.
Go ahead.
Did you guys enter it?
No, I haven't entered it. Whenever it gives me last call, maybe I'll buy one.
You did it by 5.
I know you have to buy. That's what I'm saying. I'll buy
Yeah.
one.
Batch.
Maybe I'll pay off my house from this football game.
That'd be amazing, man.
It would be. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right, I'll be here.
The Labor Day one was like $1 million.
I know.
Damn, she just wrapped that. Cut off circulation. Holy shit. Oh, and that would be why. Damn.
Well, I can't tell if there's anybody here at all. But just in case there is someone or someone comes to watch this later on, it'll be the Wolf Easy Pale Ale, Sea Change Brewing Company, in Edmonton, Alberta, and vegan friendly. Keep cold, drink fresh. How fresh is fresh? June 24th, 2024. This one is packaged on, so I don't even know when it was bottled. Canned. I don't know if I read the slogan on it. Crush beers, not dreams. Made in Alberta. Great beer from right here. Let's see, Chad has some new stuff in the background. Ooh, that does taste good. That is a good tasting beer. Oh, I think I hear someone coming. Is that Chad? Oh, nice shirt. Hey, how's it going there, Chad?
Oh, it's going.
So, what's your dinner tonight?
Taco.
Do we have anyone new, or was I just talking to myself?
I'll tell you in 1 second.
Yeah, as I started talking, I realized you weren't looking at the screen. Also, please let me know if you can hear me chewing. I will mute myself.
No, it's just me and you.
Okay.
So when I used to do this, when I lived in Ontario, we would normally start right about now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I started early, but I started early because I'm so used to being 2 hours behind you. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got plenty of time to get my food made, eat my food, and I'm like, also, oh god, damn it.
Well, like I said, I'm trying to
Yeah, no, it
figure out
made
if there's
sense.
even any interest anymore because it's been a long time. I know I've pissed off a lot of people. I know people aren't allowed to talk to me anymore. So I know there are a few people that if they talk to me, they can't be friends with other people. So it is what it is. Because even though we're in our 40s, we're still like teenagers.
Yeah, you can always maybe. Do you have a TV near you at all that you can watch?
Over there.
Say, because like it's a Saturday night, you can make this like kind of like a beer hangout, hockey watch along. We all put on the game.
Ugh, I love these things. Oh, yeah.
Back scratcher.
Yeah, my wife every Christmas usually buys me like a 5-pack
Hmm.
because I lose them and
Break them.
yeah, these things break easily, especially if you have to get the long itches.
Yeah.
Like right here is like the magic. That won't break no matter how hard you go.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you go any further than that, it's like snap. Yeah, I got some soft tacos.
Ooh. I was talking when you were gone. I was talking to myself, and I introduced the beer I was drinking.
Which beer is that?
The Wolf. When you told me to drink,
Has it worked?
I had some after I had a piece of pizza. I'm like, oh, this is really good. And yeah, it's doing what you said it would do.
Yeah, like I know you're more of just a basic lager guy, but that's as much as I'm not a huge pale ale fan,
Yeah,
that's something it's good for is food pairing.
and that's what I know when I just drink. Uh, I know when I went to your festivals, when I was just drinking something like, oh, all right, that's okay. But then when I sit down and have something to eat and drink, something like, oh, that works a lot better. So I know I have to pair stuff.
Yeah, like when I went to like I said, I went to pick up this one purposely, and then I saw another 4-pack that I'm like, I'd really like to try that. But it was also a drinking beer, right? It was like just a buy it to have
Yeah.
it type of beer. Like that really could probably work well together. And it has. And I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it yet or if you weren't, but like it's hard for me. I have people I have to send beer mails to. It just
Yeah.
takes a long time because I have to buy everything in 4-packs. So
Yeah.
it's like whenever I have the extra $20, I'm like, okay, well, I can review that and then I can send one to this guy and one to this guy.
Yeah.
But it takes like 8 weeks almost for me to build one because everything has to be bought as a 4-pack.
Ah, yeah, happens. That's the downside to the smaller province, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm now in charge of the logistics side of my place of business.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I am the warehouse boss.
Nice. Now, how did you get to that position? Because that's not what you were hired for, was it?
Well, I was hired. The warehouse boss is the same position I have, but they have 3 of those people in the building, and
Okay.
each one is in charge of a different aspect of the building. So
Okay.
I got given the warehouse final now that all my training is done.
Nice. And how long was your training again? How many
I
weeks?
have
Months?
had 5 months of training.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Now, that's not like that for everybody, right? Like, it's
No,
all based on what
that's
you're.
for everybody.
Yeah? Even like someone who came on just to be like, I don't know, like cashier,
Anyone,
floor
anyone that
person.
came to be the position I was would have had 5 months.
Okay.
Even if they've worked for the company for years upon years beforehand.
Yeah. That's cool. So are you considered done training now?
I'm considered done training. I still have no idea what I'm doing half the time. Um,
That's like most jobs though, right?
but when I was doing my training in the warehouse, I wasn't really trained in the warehouse. Every time I'd have it, I had 2 weeks in the warehouse during my training.
Yeah.
And every day, the person in charge of the warehouse, who was doing what I do now, would send
Yeah.
me out on the floor just to push stock. And I found out via the other person that has the same job position as I do that was because they were afraid I was going to take their job. So they didn't want to train me.
Fair enough. Right? Like,
Now I have their job.
and are they still there?
They've
Or
been
do you
promoted
not
and
say?
moved somewhere else.
Oh, okay. And are they very friendly now and helpful?
Yes.
Hmm.
Very
You guys
helpful.
have a Black Friday sales yet? I know some places. I know some places already have their flyers. Oh, like Canadian Tire. I saw them. They oh yeah, start of Black Friday.
It's not called that for us,
Yeah.
but it won't be this week coming. It'll be the week after.
So like the proper week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do try to stay neutral on where it is that I work, solely because I have some weirdos that follow me.
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
And I'm not saying like they'll come in and be like, oh, no, it's just there's my ex-wife has friends, you know.
Yeah. Make phone calls and send emails. Oh, you're okay.
Shut up, Alicia. I don't know if you heard that, but there was a no, she doesn't.
She doesn't have friends. We know that. I mean, what?
She has what? Waffle. Oh, so.
Did she say blue waffle?
No, she said waffles, not blue waffles.
Oh.
So my ex-wife has taken over my child's TikTok account.
Oh, okay.
So it's in my child's name, but all the TikTok videos are now my ex-wife.
Hmm.
I don't know if she realizes that me and my current wife and most of my family follow my daughter's TikTok.
Oh.
But there was this video like, go to the store, buy a bottle of hoisin sauce. Look at the fridge. Oh no, already have a bottle of hoisin. And it just keeps saying the same thing. And she just
I've seen those before.
She just keeps pulling like waffles out of the freezer, and she looks like she's confused as to what she's supposed to do and all that. She's like, you don't practice anything, do you? You just have no idea what you're doing.
One take wonder, eh?
I mean, I'm a one take wonder too, but
yeah, but I'm pretty sure you figure it as you go with your one take wonder, like, oh, this won't.
Always a one take wonder, and you're a little more experienced.
Yeah. Sometimes you know if that take should not even make it.
It's true. There's been a few times where I'll start a video, and I don't put the time in anymore. Like I don't edit. If I leave Alicia to go record, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go do some videos. I'm gone for half an hour to an hour, but then I just upload them. Right? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever is in them is what's in them. I don't do the editing and all that, but there are times where I'll start the video and I'll get like 4 or 5 minutes in, and I'm like, yeah, no, and start again.
Yeah.
And there's other times where I'm like, you know what? It wasn't anything bad. I'll just let it go.
Yeah.
Because so there's a guy at my work. He's about 10 years older than me. He's taller than me. He's like 10 years older. He has the giant beard too, but he does a braid down each side. He and this and that. And for Halloween and Christmas, he always dresses like the Grinch, full on like body paint and everything. And I posted recently, you know, I think the internet's tired of just seeing my face. He's like, I'll do it. If you dress like Santa and I dress like the Grinch, I'll join your channel.
Dude, do it. Do it. That's just...
No, he's been practicing lines and stuff. He's like, what? You think this is my natural complexion? This is just what happens when I drink beer. And he has the lisp and everything. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, we need to do this.
You take those mystery beers and you have them in your sack. There you go.
But it was funny because there was one time they went up to the cache, I guess. Somebody at work went up to the cache and they're like, it was a bigger guy with a white beard, you know, kind of bulky, but with a belly. And we're both the same, just he's taller than me and I'm shorter, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
they called his name over the PA. They're like, James to the cache, please. James to the cache. And I'm giggling. I'm like, James isn't here. I know exactly who they want to see. I kind of wander up and he goes, yeah, that guy. And I go, yeah, I'm not James.
Jesus Christ, you just polished that off. I take my time drinking.
Take my time drinking too. Wow. Have you been doing heroin today?
That's how I know they couldn't find my vein today. He literally put the needle in and then I felt him go like this. He's like, it keeps slipping on me. Like, yeah, that's what it's doing. My vein is going like this in my body. No, don't poke me. No, don't poke me. What the fuck, dude? Now you know why I always use the other arm.
All right, so what are you seeing? A big bruise from needles? Blood work?
We've been donating plasma.
Okay, yeah.
They pay you here for your plasma.
Okay.
It's a pharmaceutical company that buys your plasma and they use it in different medications and stuff. And she goes twice a week. I try to go twice a week. My shifts fluctuate and hers don't. So it doesn't always happen. But yeah, she got it in the other arm today, and I guess they couldn't hit her vein. It looks like she has track marks right now.
Oh, okay. So how often are you able to? Is someone able to do that?
Every 48 hours.
Okay, so you can go up to 3 times a week then, right?
Yeah.
In theory?
In theory.
Yeah. That's cool. And they finally are letting you do it. Because I remember you're having some problems.
Yeah, they finally realized that if I donate blood, you don't turn albino.
Oh, too bad.
I know, that's I was a little taken aback that they figured it out. I'm like, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab some more pizza. Just give me a second.
Okay, you grab some more pizza. I'm gonna
I can still hear you.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just reaching over for my phone that's over on the thingy. I mean, let's see. Oh, we have a viewer who's here. Say hello, whoever's here. Talk to us. Look, we're here just shooting the shit because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, we're talking to each other. We don't even have a topic.
Yeah, we've talked about a topic or two, but I don't even until I can get a crew that shows up again. Yeah, I'm not really making a show because what am I going to do? Just ask my own question and then answer it? Like,
true.
And I was really sad because
if you throw some topics at me, say if you throw some topics towards me, or like a week or two in advance, I can do some research and I can talk about something with you.
Yeah, like I said, like the interview with a rhino, I think it was starting to go off really good, and then it just life got in the way. And that's the problem, right? Neither of us are making any money doing the shit, so who the fuck's gonna watch it? Well, not even who the fuck's gonna watch it. People were gonna watch it, but are you gonna do everything in your power to get the show to happen?
Yeah.
And then for 6 months of the year, I'm 2 hours behind, and he's done construction most of his life. It's not like they stay up very late.
Yeah.
And I've worked midnight most of my life, so...
Yeah, that was last winter that you started it, right? Like before the summer? before last time change?
Yeah, we started in like the spring, and we only got like 3 or 4 episodes in before things happened, and we couldn't keep doing it. But I think they were pretty good episodes.
Yeah. Oh, another debatable.
Even though Chris wanted to talk about ice beers every chance he got. Fucking ice beers.
Well, maybe you have one.
I'm going to open Great Western's Winter Bitter. And I have one of these set aside for you and one of these set aside for Chris, who is also malty that I send stuff to.
Mm.
You both have a box coming your way once I can get to a box.
Dude, the beers that you've sent me are going to last me a long time because I don't drink often.
I am in like the alcoholic province of the country.
Well, I get that because no matter where you look, it's just flat land.
Alberta thinks they drink a lot. Quebec thinks they drink a lot. The Maritimes think none of them have anything on Saskatchewan. Like every beer store, every alcohol store has like lineups. Like I went in, like I said, I went in for this.
Yep.
Grabbed this, the other 3 beers, the other 4 beers, because I grabbed 3 singles and another 4-pack. The other beers I grabbed were all right beside this one. I was in there for half an hour because I had to wait to get to the cash. Like, motherfucker.
Here's a interesting thought on what you just said. The fact that you pretty much only can buy your craft beers in 4s and not singles, is that leading to everyone drinking a lot? You're like, oh, I want to try that beer. Oh, I got to try 4 of them.
You don't even buy the big brands in 4s. You buy the big brands in 12s or 24s, right? So
yeah. What's the big seller out there, do you think, in your province?
Molson Pilsner is the number 1 beer.
Really? Holy crap.
And then Pilsner is the number 1 style.
Okay.
And after Pilsner's Lager.
Lager?
Lager. Give me a lager.
I haven't had a Labatt Blue in ages.
I did, thanks to you.
That's what made me think about it. Now, how was it?
It was actually not bad. I don't.
One of those things where, like, I have found in the past, the colder the Labatt Blue, the better it is.
And there was the thing, the Labatt Blue, you sent it to me. I wasn't going to review it. I wasn't going to do it. It went in the fridge. I drank it from the fridge watching a movie with my wife, and it hit the spot. Now, my argument with Blue has never really been that I don't like the taste of Blue. My argument has always been this is not a Pilsner. And it's a lot like my argument with Alexander Keith's. There's nothing inherently wrong with Alexander Keith's. It doesn't have a flavor. It's not an IPA. Like that's my real complaint about the beer.
I guess
like I know craft beer drinkers get angry when other craft beer drinkers don't make fun of macro beer every chance they get. But the more tasteless it is, the more I don't care. I'll drink it. It just comes down to that.
It's almost like the less there is to hate about it then.
Yeah. It's beer. It's beer. It's what I grew up as, knowing beer. Yes, I enjoy craft beer more than I enjoy this, but this is still beer. And I'm perfectly fine drinking it.
Hey, and if it wasn't for those macro beers, there'd be no craft beers.
Exactly. The old Vienna and the Rickards Red and the export you sent, I was in heaven with all 3 of those. I
thought so.
I can, but again, I have to buy a 12-pack, and sometimes I just want one, right? Like, yay!
That's why when I was looking, I'm like, oh, single, because you're always talking about how you can't get them. I'm like, here you go.
Yeah, and Old Vienna is not sold in this province. Again, Rickard's Red is, but again, it's a 12-pack. But you cannot find Old Vienna. I love Old Vienna. There's nothing wrong with that beer. I mean, they make fun of it. I make fun of it. Old Vagina. And even the moniker, I'm like, if Old Vagina tasted like this, I'd be eating Old Vagina all the time. No, like... I have no problem with OV. I like OV. I have no problem with export. I like export. So to get the beers that I can't get, I'm like, fuck. We watched a movie. Again, if I drink, it's usually like tonight I have 6 beers out, but usually I drink 1 to 3 a day if I drink, right?
Yeah.
And people get angry. Sometimes 4. Like if I'm reviewing, it's and you can tell by the shirts.
I start
usually
calling you the tooth.
The tooth. I have 6 beer. No, I don't normally drink 6 beers in a day. The average week, I'll have like 2 or 3 days where I drink absolutely nothing. I have 1 day where I'll drink 6, and then I'll have a few days where I have between 2 and 4. So, yeah, I've had more than I should, but if you average it all out, I'm pretty close to the numbers, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've not been drunk in several years, and I'm happy with that. But at the same time, I enjoy having some beer, right? Like I do. And I still, even though I haven't been drinking like I used to, I still have the tolerance that comes with my genetics, where I'm like, hey, when we went out to celebrate the person who I replaced in the warehouse's promotion, I had 9 beers that night, and they're like, how are you still talking completely normally? I go, yeah, you guys are all alcoholics, but I'm Irish. Like, cheers. And they
sound
looked
like rookies.
like, is this normal? She's like, unfortunately.
They're like, have you seen his YouTube channel?
So I mean, and it comes down to that, right? Like this is what I grew up with. My dad will drink, like, see, again, I'll review 3 or 4 beers. And if I have people reviewing with me, I'll review 6 beers in the night, but I've had 3 beers, right? Because we've split them. So when we had the group, we would batch review so much stuff because there'd be like 10 of us in the basement. And everybody would be on camera like 3 times, but that means we went through 30 beers. But we would share the beer with everybody, not just the guys on camera, right? Like the guys on camera would have the majority of it, but everybody had some. So
another Leafs goal, 3-0.
Fucking Leafs. So we would get to the point where
they're beating Montreal.
Well, that's okay.
Okay.
I'll give them.
Sorry, so you're sharing the beers with 10 guys.
Yeah, like
10
so
guys.
We would
10
get
guys, 1 beer.
But 30 beers with 10 guys, you were basically having 3 or 4 beers apiece, right? Like,
yeah.
So the amount that we've had has never really changed. It's just the batches are a lot smaller because we would do that. We would get together once a week. We would punch out between 10 and 20 beers, unless there was more guys in the basement. But we would punch out between 10 and 20 videos. By the time the 20 videos were done, we might have had 4 beers in total.
Yeah.
Well, we've reviewed 4 beers in total. Some of the guys off camera would still be drinking because we had the drinking beer and then we had the review beer. Which is why the peanut gallery would progressively get louder and louder. But the peanut gallery was something the internet really enjoyed, and I would love to give them the peanut gallery again. And I think that regardless of whether or not I'm knowledgeable and I can do a review really well, I think I need that person to keep me on track, but also to make things more interesting because we can chat while we're talking, right? Like, hey, this reminds me of this. Really? Because it's that type of thing that I really like.
Yeah, the banter, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got to get that guy from work. You got to start somewhere.
We can get it working. We both want to.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even really drink beer, but I'm kind of excited to do this. He goes, because you make me giggle and I make you giggle, and I think this will be. He was leaving that night after we talked about it. And I walked up to him because we have a lot of theft problems, right? And he's in the line to buy something. I walk up and I go, can I see what's in your pocket, sir? He goes, do you want to see the elephant trunk? And he holds his hands. No, I'm leaving.
Oh, the Canadians just scored.
Well, see, I don't know how to feel because I hate the Leafs, but the Canadians are a bigger rival in a way. I mean, the Ontario rivalry is big, but the Leafs are further away than Montreal.
Yeah.
And fuck, I love Guy, but fuck the French. Fuck them. Yeah, I got to put together a box for Guy as well. But Guy wants to fly out here at some point and visit for like a week, and me and him hit all the breweries here, and then drive up to Saskatoon and hit up some breweries there. And I'm like, hey, we can do that. You just need to plan it out with me. I'm like, I have an attic. You have a place you can stay. He goes, you're going to send me in the attic? I go, it's a loft, man. It's open. I actually have a bed up there. I just need to get a mattress.
You just tell him to rent a van. He can sleep in the van in the garage.
So 2 nights ago, my camera went off of 4 guys crossing the street towards my house. And that night we were parked on the other side of the street. And my wife went out that day and our driver's side window was cracked.
Oh, no.
We're pretty sure those guys tried to break into the car. We're pretty sure those guys either broke into or attempted to break into a lot of cars. Because since that night, there's been like no cars parked on the street. Like none. Everybody's been parking in their garages. But insurance here, yeah, Chris, I see you posted something. We'll read it in 1 second, okay? Insurance here is easy. Like, she called up the SGI and she's like, this happened. They're like, is there a police report? She goes, well, no, because we weren't 100% sure it was them. They're the only motion we had on the camera all night. Okay, fair enough. You have a $100 deductible. Take it to wherever you want. Tell them this is your number. Whoever you take it to will pay it, and you just pay your $100 deductible to them. She's like, I don't have to do anything else. They're like, no, you're good. I'm like, holy shit. In Ontario, we would have to get an estimate. We would have to do this. We would have to do that.
Wow.
But like insurance here is government controlled. So it's no profit insurance. Completely provincially government controlled. So every insurance broker has the same prices. It's interesting. It's very interesting. It seems like, Chris, we might actually do a Minhas together later. Actually, Multi, question. Do you have any of the Minhas beers left? Let's find this out, because maybe me and you can do them on camera and he can do it in the chat. Oh, I thought I sent you the raspberry beer and you might have it left.
I got the raspberry beer.
Because me and Brian might do the raspberry together on camera.
What did you
think? What did you think of the Multi? Do you have any left? And what have you thought of what you've had? I don't even remember what I sent you. Just so you know, I've been talking to Brian. And this is, we were discussing why it takes me so long to send out beer mails right now. And it's because I have to buy most things in 4-packs. So I have to find something I haven't had or I'm willing to drink again. And then I buy it and I put the beers that I'm going to send you guys away. Right now I have like 4 beers for each of you set aside. And I wait till I get to about 8 before I send the box out. But,
I have another Minhas. I have a grapefruit Radler.
Oh, I don't have any of the grapefruit Radler left. I just have the espresso stout and the raspberry beer.
Oh, I have the espresso stout.
You have the espresso stout?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah.
It's a good thing you can't find any of that fucking shit, Chris. That shit's gross. But so, yeah, I have a cream ale with coffee. I have a Vienna lager. I have a winter bitter. I have a nitro stout so far for both of you. And I have the space knife for both of you off to the side. And then my crisper in the beer fridge behind me is where I save all your beers. I also have a few things for Guy because I owe Guy a beer mail too. But I said to Guy, I'm like, this is what happens. You guys can go into a brewery and just buy, or into a LCBO or whatever, and buy a bunch of singles. I can't. I can't afford to go in and buy eight packs. I wish I could. So it takes me a little bit of time to build them. And it's the unfortunate thing that there's not a lot of places that sell singles here. And when they do, like for you, Malty, I'm trying to pick up some Super Flux because I know you want to try it. I've been told Super Flux should be in stock soon. I did buy a Super Flux beer to review, but it was the only beer in the store. And I was talking to the manager at the time because the manager is the one that will come up to me and go, hey, can you review this for me? I'll give it to you for free if you review it. And she's like, yeah, I was saying that I want to send you some stuff. And she goes, that's illegal. I go, actually, it's a gray area. She's like, what do you mean? And I told her. She goes, really? I go, yes, it's a very gray area. The policies and the law actually both are very gray. And if you're under a certain amount of liters, you're 100% in the clear. And once you pass those liters, you're not so much in the clear, but it's still gray. And
How many liters?
That's why I only send between 8 and 10 beers normally, because once
we've scored.
It's like six liters is what brings you into the fully gray, and under 6 liters is gray but kind of white, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
Because what it basically comes down to is you need to make sure whoever is going to be picking it up is over 19, and stuff like that is the weird. For under that amount, but as soon as you go over 6 liters, it becomes not so gray and a little darker gray. It's still somewhat in the limbo, but it's not fully legal anymore.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about the stuff, and she's like, well, okay, well, Superflux should be in stock by the end of November. I'm like, okay. I just want to send him some Superflux stuff too, because he's commented that he wanted it. So there we go.
So I guess it sounds like it's kind of like getting charged for possession or charged for trafficking.
Yeah.
That's where I got from that.
Yeah, shipping beer, again, gray areas on the legality. It is legal under a certain amount as long as you're not shipping it to a minor. Over a certain amount,
things we've never done.
Provincial legislation comes into the account, but at the same time, federal legislation is still there. So it's one of these weird things, and it's weird. It's weird. Just after the amount of years I've been shipping things, I can tell you under very strict circumstances where you can actually get in trouble for it. If anything, you might lose your package, but unless you're sending me like an entire 2-4 in a box, and you have a problem normally.
Yeah, just stick the shipping label right on the box. It's already packed.
Yeah, they don't want to know that it's beer. Don't go in and go, here's my package of beer, because then the gray area becomes even grayer. It becomes murkier. The law around it, and if you read the law to the letter, and I only know this because I'm good friends with a guy that works for Canada Post that used to do beer reviews as well. And he would explain the letter of the law as well. And I'm friends with a lot of cops. And the letter of the law, and I'm actually friends with a judge now in Ontario. And I even passed it by him, and he goes, yeah, it's weird. He goes, you're fine. You're fine as long as you're not shipping this much or more. And I'm like, good. I've never shipped more than that because I can't afford to ship more than that.
Yeah.
Even when I lived in Ontario, I couldn't afford to ship a box with that much beer in it. And so now hard liquor becomes an even great. It's all weird.
Yeah.
Did the next level of craft beer kill Anchor Steam? I think Anchor Steam died because Anchor Steam was so old. I don't even think it had anything to do with the next wave of. I think this fucking Amazon chair is just slowly losing
pressure.
Yeah, I'm slowly sinking. It's like, if I could hear like a dog, I'd probably hear this high-pitched hiss the entire time I'm sitting in it.
Eh. How long have you had the chair for?
Since we moved here.
Okay.
Remember, we came here with no furniture, right? Like everything
Oh,
was
that's
bought.
true. Yeah.
The reason we're in the credit card debt we're in is because we moved with nothing, and then we got fucked out of our bonus, we got fucked out of our deposit, we got fucked out of like the amount of things we got fucked out of was pretty insane. Part of the fucking was my own thing, and the other part of the fucking was them just not liking the fact that we didn't go back. And there's fighting you could do, but it was so much work, and we didn't care to do the work to fight it.
Yeah.
So
hey, what's that new thing on your wall?
Which new thing? There's lots of new things on my wall.
Well, the Ottawa Center thing's been there for a while.
Yes, this has been
I know there's a license plate now.
Yeah, I have an Ontario license plate. I'd like to get a license plate from every province and territory I've been in, but I only have the Ontario. This was the one that was on our car when we moved here.
Okay.
And I even put it out there that I have two of them because Ontario uses two license plates. And I'm like, if somebody from Quebec or Saskatchewan or something needs an Ontario license plate, I'll trade you for an Ontario, a Saskatchewan or a Quebec or a Nunavut or I had a list of places I've been. Like Manitoba. I'm like, I'll trade you for any of these type of license plates because this number doesn't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter. But that's what Quebec, Saskatchewan sort of uses one plate. You only have a rear plate.
Yeah.
And then I have a picture, like a little postcard size picture from my buddy Dave, who does a lot of art that I have upstairs. I have some.
Okay.
I have some from Chris. I have some stuff. I have some stuff from breweries I've ordered from. I have stickers from breweries I've ordered from. This wall is slowly going to just get filled.
Okay. So you need stuff. Good to know.
I put up anything I get on this wall.
All right.
Because this is my secondary studio, right? We have my burnt wood studio.
Yeah.
Which is just my staircase. And then we have this studio.
Yeah, this is your live, right?
Yeah, this is my live. And sometimes I do reviews in here because
Yeah.
Maybe my wife is yelling at my kid or something, right? So,
yeah. How far? I know you always post like your oldest video and then your newest video. How far back is your old videos now?
1 second. Let's see. Let's see where we're sitting. Okay, gallery. Oh wait, this is the wrong. 1 second. You're in charge of the room for a second. I got to go get my recording phone. It's out in the other room.
All right. So Chad's heading out to.
And I'm gonna pee.
He's gonna fart. Is what he's gonna do. Doesn't even post a comment up there. But maybe he'll drink some ice beer soon. That might get the crowd going. But so over here, I got the Leafs and the Canadians on TV. It's 4-1 for the Leafs right now. So at the Saskatchewan Winnipeg game, it's a commercial break. So back to the Leafs game. But yeah.
All right, I'm back. I have my old phone.
Chad's back. Nice.
Let's answer your question now. Well, what the fuck
I
was
always
that?
try to figure it out based on your hairstyle at the time. Because some of you went from having longer hair to, oh, no, there's Chad with the buzzed hair. Fresh haircut, groomed beard.
Okay, so my newest video is from yesterday,
Yep.
and my oldest video on this phone is from, one second here, details. It was recorded August 13th.
Okay.
We range from now till August 13th.
Yeah. So now, like, you upload them and then you hit a release date or time, or how's that work?
No, I just upload them when I wake up or right before I go to bed, and that's how it
Okay.
works.
Okay, because like, sometimes I'm at work, also I'm like, oh, new video from Chad an hour ago. Like, this was 3 a.m.
I thought I sent more than that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, just 5? No, I had more than 5 in that box, didn't I? Regardless, the medicine hat one was a weird one because that was the one that tasted like throw up to me when I had it. And then I had another can of it, and the next can didn't taste like it. And I'm like, okay, so maybe only one can's infected. And I'm glad to hear yours wasn't infected either, because the can I had that wasn't infected was actually rather good.
Oh, what do we got for?
2 Minhas and an IPA. Okay. Like I said, that was a box of beers that I didn't think were horrible, but there was some good stuff in it. And then your next box is going to have some of the stuff that I'm like, this is really good, and I think you really need to have it. It just, like I said, it gets hard because I have to buy everything in 4s or 12s, other than the specific beers that I go in and I can get in singles. And when you have to buy them in 4s and 12s, it really hurts. It really hurts.
Oh, for sure. So have you ever bought a 4-pack with the intent of, shipping out and like, oh, this is really good, and you end up drinking all 4?
That happened once. I actually bought the
Yeah.
4-pack, and I was going to send you one and Chris one, and it was actually earmarked for the other Chris to get one as well. And then I fucked and drank them all, and then I'm like, motherfucker, that was like a $26 4-pack. I don't want to go buy that again.
What was it? Do you remember?
It was from Nokomis, and it was one of their bourbon barrel aged sour beers.
Okay. That sounds interesting.
And basically, what would happen was every once in a while, there's a scummer, as we could call him. He's been on YouTube a little bit longer than me. He's mostly a pot-headed type of guy, and he drinks as well. But the people that he hangs out with are a lot of the more low-grade people.
Oh.
And I like him. He's a good guy, right? Like, he's not a bad guy or anything.
People that try to get into your car,
you would normally hang out with. And he does he plays music, and he drinks with everybody that watches him, and he tells stories and stuff. And me and him have gotten along quite a bit. And what will happen is a lot of times I'll do my reviews, and it's really late at night, and I can't sleep, and he's live, and I join, and then he talks me into drinking more, and then I drink stuff that I wasn't meaning to drink, and it goes that way. Michael Jackson was an interesting guy. He was more interesting when you watched him on things like Conan and stuff, and you didn't know how much of it was him acting and how much of it was him fucked. Interesting guy. Actually, Chris, I know when I do my next set of blind macro beers, there's at least one of them in there that you'll really like, because this motherfucker on video here with me sent me an ice beer, at least one. But the way he giggled as he walked away, I think there's more than one.
Well, which one do you think you saw?
Milwaukee.
I know you. I know you said it earlier, but since he's here,
I know for a fact one of them is Milwaukee Ice. I don't know which one of it is now. I don't know what beer you thought I thought it was, but I know there's a Milwaukee Ice in there.
Should I confirm or deny if that's what I was thinking, or should I wait until this video comes
Is that
live?
the beer you were thinking?
No.
That's fucked up because I know for a fact it was a Milwaukee Ice sitting in my hand. I picked it up and I'm like, this is a fucking Milwaukee Ice, that motherfucker. Word for word.
That's fucking hilarious.
So there's a different one that you thought I would. It was probably the first one I pulled out, and I didn't look at the rest of them. So now I'm curious what the other one is, because I know it's an ice beer because you knew exactly what I was talking about. That means there's at least 2 ice beers in those 5.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker. It's going to be like Lakeport and Laker and Molson and Labatt. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be those 5. What about?
Is your wife downstairs still? Ask her if she took the tape off.
No, she's upstairs right now. Here, let me text her.
Yeah, because if she left the tape on, you'll know which one I was thinking is the one that you pulled out.
Okay, now we just got to wait for the ding. The fact that you're giggling pisses me off.
I'm just laughing because one of the ones I taped was like the equivalent to a very bad tape job where you could tell what the logo was.
Good people drink ice beer. Come on, answer my question, bitch. I love my wife. Don't think that I actually call her bitch. She called me an asshole today because I couldn't get her. She was driving me to work. I started at 7 a.m. today. Now, we do a lot of, if you have to go for an appointment or this and that, we're not going to penalize you. But when we open at 7, we're expected to get there at like 6:45. And if we're closing and we go 15, 20, 30 minutes past, we're expected to not be like, oh, you owe me 30 minutes of work. Because, if we go, hey, we need to do this, go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was supposed to open at 7 today, which means at 6:45 was my expected return, like at work time. I'm normally there by then or earlier. And it was like 6:42, and we're passing Timmy's and McDonald's, and we were going to get a coffee this morning, but it was 6:42, so she wasn't going. I'm like, go get a coffee. She's like, it's like 6:40. I go, I don't have to be there till 7. I'm getting a coffee today. I can't stay awake. So we drove into McDonald's. McDonald's had one person in the drive-thru because McDonald's and Timmy's are across the street from each other.
Okay.
And she gets into the drive-thru, and a car comes up behind us. So now we're stuck in the drive-thru. The car ahead of us was at the window, not even at the pay window, at the order window, for 10 minutes before their order was taken. So now it's like 6:52. I'm like, we can't stay. We have to go. She's like, yeah, I know. So, but then we were stuck behind them because it's a single lane. And I'm like, no, we need to get the fuck out of here. I need to get to work by 7. Like, I don't care if I'm not there by 6:45, but I need to be there by 7. And then she's like, well, I can't get out. I go, we're in an off-road version of our vehicle. Fucking jump the curb. I don't give a shit. We need to go.
Yeah.
And we get to work. Funny. I go inside. I see first off, my boss shows up early because she's supposed to be there at 9. She showed up at 7 thinking that she was opening. She goes, hi, Chad. I go, hi. I look at the person opening with me. I go, which job do you want? She goes, I don't care. Whichever you want. Feels like I'm at home. Like when you go, what do you want to eat? I don't care.
Yeah.
So I go do the meeting. She goes and counts the tills. We get out. I do the meeting. We go to take all the stuff outside that has to go outside. And I say something to one of our cashiers, and she looks at me and goes, "What was that? Sorry, I wasn't listening to you." I'm like, "Holy fuck, I'm really at home right now."
Yeah. That's when you know you're in a good place to work.
Laker Extra Ice. No, I don't think any of them were Laker Extra Ice. I didn't actually pick up and look at the ones that he sent other than that one. But none of them looked like they were the Extra Ice variant. And I don't even know if Extra Ice still exists. But like I said, I know I had Old Milwaukee Ice in my hand, and the fact that he hasn't disputed it means that one of them is Old Milwaukee Ice. And I picked that one up, and I'm like, motherfucker. And I put it down. I said, Alicia, you need to wrap these for me. She has not taken the tape off.
Okay. So that'll be fun. You will.
She actually wrote, "Fuck you, I wasn't doing any fucking extra work."
Which makes that, once you do it, when you take
That
off
means
whatever she put
I would
on.
have noticed the insignia type of thing, the logo. It would either be like Labatt Ice or Laker Ice. Those are the two which have very. He's not even Molson Ice. Like Molson Ice doesn't have. You'd have to see more of the can, and you would see the color before you saw the logo.
Yeah.
If we're talking logo, it had to be Laker or Labatt.
You'll see. Since the tape is still on
I'm right.
those things.
I'm fucking right.
Yeah, you are. You'll see when I'm assuming she wrapped them in something. When you can see the tape, you'll see like there was enough exposed on some of them to give you something to chat about if you're doing a review or whatever.
So I'm gonna guess it. I'm gonna unwrap it, and I'm gonna know whether or not I guessed it right away.
Good chance. Good chance. Yeah. Because like they weren't covered in tape like the first few. You know what I mean? Like you saw how that first one was.
Yeah, I know how the first one was.
Yeah. So maybe you need to not have those saved for one session.
Nobody wants visions of Yankee Jim. Nobody. Not even Yankee Jim wants visions of Yankee Jim. It was like I said, it was the fact that as I'm pulling them out, I had the one in my hand and I'm like, I know what this is. I put it back and I didn't even look at the others. I'm like, I gotta play this game. I go, he's being an asshole right now just to piss me off because he knows how much I hate this. So I guess the question now is, can I pick them out now that can I pick at least that one out that I know is there? Because that's what's going to happen. I'm going to say, this is this, because I know it's there. I'm going to say it to all 5 of them until I get to one that's right.
Yeah.
Because my mind is going to be like, I know this is in here. I know this is, and it's going to start picking up taste notes that aren't really there, just so I can be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I enjoyed your blind reviews because you had the unbiased of, oh, this is this brand or this is coming from so and so.
I actually, like I said, I gave myself, of the first 3 that I did, I gave myself a 1.5, and
you did really good.
I think I did fairly well with what I was guessing.
Yeah.
And the fact that I thought Bush Ice was what? I can't remember now. But it was made by the same company. And I was thinking Blue Ice. I think Blue Light, sorry. Blue Light and Bush Light.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is Blue Light. It has to be. And then I opened it and it was Bush Light. And I'm like, motherfucker, it's made by the same people in the same factory. It's the same.
Or was that the Pabst?
No, the Pabst, I guessed the ABV, but I thought it was something else.
Yeah. But then the fact you got High Life, that was awesome.
Yeah, well, because I knew the game you were going to play, and I was looking for exact monikers, and I was finding them in some of them, and I was second guessing myself and stuff, and I'm like, this could be this or this, and I'm like, I'm going to say this. And then I was wrong, and I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to throw a craft beer at you blind that you may have never had. You know, I thought it'd be more entertaining. Here's a big boy. Do you remember this from when you were 17 years old, 22 years old, 32 years old?
A Cascadian American Stout. What the fuck? No, I don't want that. Yeah, I had fun with the blind reviews. I really did. However, Chris being Chris F. Grave, I did have this, which is an ordinary bitter at 4.2% alcohol. This was really good. This was very good. And it's the Winter Bitter by Great Western in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Saskatoon!
Saskatoon!
So what are the nicknames for the different cities in Saskatchewan? Do you guys have some?
Not really. I mean, there's not many fucking cities here either. Like, when you think about it.
But you've
there's
got your...
Lloydminster, which is right on the border, and there's Lloydminster, Calgary, and Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. There's Prince Albert, which is like the crime capital of Saskatchewan. There's Saskatoon, there's Regina, and that's basically the end of your cities. Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw as well.
I just didn't know if you guys had nicknames for each other. You know?
Stabby McStabberson, Stabby Stab, and Stabby Stab. Like, there's...
I didn't know if you were considered a Gina or something.
Well, people say a lot of things about Regina, but
the
province is intriguing in that crime is bad, but crime is only really bad in certain places. And we're like on the outskirts of the place where crime is bad, which is why things like all those cars having their windows broken happened. Because they get drunk and they wander out of the ghetto and they're like, hey, we're in somewhere where people have money. Let's break things.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're probably the owners of a new glass shop.
No, I actually recognized one of the guys on camera. He's a guy I kick out of my store daily.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't have him on camera breaking the window, so I can't charge him.
Ah.
I just have him crossing the street.
Ah, so now you just have to wait to pinch him for something at your work.
The joke was always we found out where he hangs out, and he hangs out within like a 5-minute walk from my house. And the joke was we were going to buy a clearance ladder, a 10-foot ladder, bring it with us, beat the crap out of him. I would climb the ladder in my Santa suit, do a diving elbow, stand up and say, you're on the naughty list, bitch, and then walk away.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh,
basically, he's just one of our guys that comes in and does the 5-finger discount daily. And the company we work for, you're not even allowed to say anything to them as they're stealing. So, because you're not allowed to do anything to do any type of escalation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just asking for their crime to escalate. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, if we do nothing, they just keep pushing to see what they can get away with until they come in with a gun or a knife to steal all the money in the place.
Yeah.
No, our numbers say differently. I go, your numbers aren't looking at Winnipeg, Regina, Saskatoon. I'm listing all the places that have stores that have huge crime rates, right? I'm like, you're looking at like Whitby and Mississauga, and yeah, there's crime in those cities, but it's not like, let's do this.
I wonder with the store near me would be, because there's a lot of homeless.
Yes, daily, Dave. The store near you is actually their boss is somebody who was on this channel before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I found that out.
Mm.
That was an interesting find because he emailed me randomly. He's like, "Hey, welcome to the team," and I'm like, "How the fuck did you find out I was here?" He goes, "I listened to some of the stuff you talked about," and I'm like, "That sounds like interviews for this company." He's like, and then I searched your name to see if you had an email with us, and you did.
That's always awesome when someone figures something like that out and is able to send an email. Like just that period of giddiness of, oh my God, I found him. Emailing him.
And then as a joke, he's like, "Hey, you want a job here?" So I told my boss that he offered me a job, and she's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill him when I see him."
Hey, does he pay well? I might move. I got 20 years at my current customer service place. You just getting around to eating your food now?
Yeah, you can hear me choking on it.
Well, not really, but I know that's what's going on when you turn your camera off, that you're usually eating your food. And
They're
you picked
hiring
that up
for the
an
same
hour. And you
position I
picked
have
that up
right
an hour ago.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hiring here in Regina for the same position I have right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the same resume as you had though.
Yeah, but you have some intangibles as well, sir.
Yeah. Every now and then I get the urge to create a resume.
And it's not like my resume was great. It was I worked in the Arctic.
Yeah.
I worked at the same place as you. I worked in the Arctic, and I did bar work and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't even know what they want on resumes anyways nowadays.
Neither do I, to be honest.
Yeah. That's probably like what's holding me back from trying to do anything. It's like, well, my resume has me at one place for 20 years,
Why
you
do you
know?
want to leave?
Sorry?
Oh, that's the first question you're going to get is like, why would you want to leave?
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you applying for this job that is not front line customer service? Because I'm sick and tired of it, you know? So do you have any say on hiring at your store or your
Yeah, I have
location
like
or your
4 interviews I have to do next week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, for members of my night team.
Oh, okay.
Chris
Can
is
I
asking.
suggest
Chris is saying thank
questions?
you. You could, but we have like a set list.
Oh, it's gonna be like, do you ever walk across a back alley at night touching car windows? If they say yes, like, good, you're hired because you owe me a window.
No, this was not. This was in the front. This wasn't the back alleys. But the thing
Oh,
is, we all have back alleys, right? Like this city is all alleyway access for your garbage and everything. Nothing goes on your front.
yeah,
So everybody for the most part has a garage or at least a parking spot in the back. We have a garage, but my wife hates parking in it because it doesn't have an automatic. It has an automatic door, but somebody has like the person that owned this house this house was a rental.
Yeah.
And the renters let homeless people live in the garage. And
What the
somebody
fuck?
has the automatic opener. And when we first moved in, people would walk by and the door would just open. So
Oh,
I disconnected the door. I'm like, fuck you guys. Right? So it's all manual now. So
yeah.
she doesn't like driving because you have to get out, you have to go around back, you have to like.
Yeah.
How was Halloween in your spot? Did you get through the Ontario beers I sent? Yes, I did. And thank you very much. The paranormal review went up. The highballer I drank while I was watching a movie with the wife. And you and Brian both sent me a Princess Clementine, and that beer is fucking good. I really do enjoy it. And I was going to make a video and make fun of the fact that it was She-Ra and everything, and then I realized I had already reviewed it when I was up in the Arctic. But it didn't matter because it was such a good beer. And I was like, yay, I love this beer. And I drank both of them back to back. And my wife was looking at me and goes, you never drink two beers at the same back to back. I go, but I really love it. So shut up. So thank you very much. They were great. The Theater of Madness was great. Theater of Madness actually showed up today at Sobeys Liquor, and I giggled. I'm like, I've had that already. And your reviews got better and better as your month went on, Dave. You got more and more comfortable in front of the camera, so that's great. Even if your friend hates me and thinks I'm overrated, I don't really care. I love that he didn't know it was me making fun of me, though, right? He's like, that Rhino guy's overrated. I'm like, yeah, he fucking sucks. And he's like, yeah. Nitro death. But like I said, those two He-Man ones that we talked about, I kind of want to buy them from you. It's just going to take me a bit of time to save up the money for it with Christmas coming and the 5 children.
So what are you expecting out of this beer?
I'm expecting kind of like a Guinness, but also kind of like just a regular stout.
Oh.
Especially because I don't know how they did their nitro. Like, it didn't cascade there. So their nitro is slightly different than most people's nitro. Because there's no cascade at all. It's just the head is not going away. Is there even a snap, crackle, pop to that? Oh, there is. Okay. So the head will fade. It's just going to fade very slowly.
You know what beer I enjoyed, which did not last, was Molson M.
Don't say that was not expected. I didn't care, man. Don't be sorry. Molson M. Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't last. It was actually not a bad beer.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and when I would buy it, and I think I even found a bar that was serving it, and I was like, "Yeah, give me a pint of that," and just.
Man, there's haters all the time, Dave. Don't worry about it. Again, don't worry about it. I was having fun with it. I just loved that he had no idea that the guy's face that looks just like my face was me. I just loved that.
Maybe he thought you were trolling.
Maybe. I don't know.
And because what better way to troll than oh, I'm going to use that guy's face as my profile.
Like I said, it didn't bother me at all. I was having fun with it. I was giggling. My wife was like, what are you laughing about? I'm like, this guy's making fun of me and doesn't realize he's talking to me.
Was that on a live?
Yeah, Dave did some live reviews. He did his first beer reviews live for Halloween, and they were all like pumpkin and Halloween themed beers. And his very first video, he was talking about how, you should watch the Albino Rhino. He's one of the guys that made me want to do this. He's great. And the guy's like, he's overrated. I'm like, yeah, that guy fucking sucks. He's like, yeah. They're going back and forth. And I'm like,
Well, I guess that's good when you're going with what the chat session's saying,
Yeah, no, I was having fun with it. I was screwing around, and he was like, yeah. You have no idea you're talking to me.
When did he clue in?
He never did.
Oh man, that's even better.
Yeah, no, I was giggling about the whole thing. Don't worry. Again, Dave, don't worry about it. It is what it is. I thought it was funny. But like I said, you got better and better as the time went on. You got more and more comfortable in front of the camera. We all do it. If you ever go back and watch like my first few beer reviews, oh my god, they sucked. They still suck in my mind. I don't understand why anyone watches them, but hey, people enjoy them. People enjoy them. Actually, that smells better than it should for a nitro beer.
So, how long did it take you till you found your rhythm?
I don't think I found my rhythm for the first 100 videos or so because it took me a while before I brought people in, and I think it was once the banter started that my rhythm was found.
Cool.
Like once people started joining me and we were doing it together and we were just chatting, and I was the guy that had some training in it and they were the guys that were just telling me what they thought. I think that's when the rhythm started, right? Because you had the guy that had partially been trained at that point. I hadn't done all my full shit.
This is not lube, just in case anyone's wondering. Sanitizer.
So you had the guy that had some training but not fully trained yet, and then you had like his buddies that were all low grade just like him, and just us shooting shit together just worked.
Well, that's good.
Actually, I had one of my most interesting encounters recently, which was I had a message from I don't know if you remember him. His name was Brian. He worked with us at the casino. And he ended up committing suicide, but his brother contacted me and was like, I heard my brother used to talk really highly of you. I know he did this show with you about beer. Do you have any footage? And I had to send my in-laws a message. I'm like, can you guys go into my bins of storage and find this CD, and this CD and send it to this address? They're like, why? I go, because, and I told them the story and they're like, okay. They went and found them and sent it to him. And it was like CDs of just him on, like he did about 30 or 40 videos with us.
Yeah.
But we also had like, he was in some live streams. So we had like 6 hours of video sometimes and stuff. And we sent it to his brother and his brother's like, oh my God, thank you so much. It's like, hey, anything for you, man. He was a good kid. And he was a kid. He was,
I don't know who you're talking about right now.
on Midnights, and he was this tall, young kid. His name was Brian.
You would think I would remember this based on the name.
Yeah, you would think.
That's why I'm like, huh?
Let me see if I can find his name, like his full name for you.
Well,
He would have came on board at about the same time as Mr. Davies' brother-in-law.
Hmm.
I don't even think I have him on my Facebook anymore. This isn't good. And people might think that you're an asshole for doing it, but a lot of times, once a friend of mine is gone, after a certain amount of time, I remove them from my friends list. And it's not because I'm being a dick, it's because I have a lot of problems myself, and sometimes them being there can trigger some problems.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that type of stuff and why they're not around anymore. And
Well, the other thing I've had this conversation with other people is if when someone passes on and they're on your phone as a contact, do you take them off?
yeah, see, I usually do, but it takes me a long time before I do it.
Or do you just leave it there until you lose the phone?
No, Brian wasn't blind. He was a lot taller than me. He was actually taller than you as well, Brian.
That's why I don't know how.
He was just this tall, kind of dorky looking kid, and he was a kid. He was probably, so we're about the same age. He was probably like, oh, I would have been in my. He was probably like 12 or 13 years younger than me. He worked at the casino about the same time as Casey and Cody, the security supervisor's kids.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell was his last name? I can't even remember it anymore.
I don't know. Are you sure you got the right first name?
Yeah, I know the first name. The first name is
Okay.
100%. I'm just seeing if I have him still anywhere. Like, if you didn't delete the conversations type of thing.
Yeah.
Or if the conversations haven't timed out. People is what I'm looking for.
Was he employed there when he passed on, or was
No, he
he?
was no longer employed there. He had moved on. He was a
Okay, mate.
contract. I was probably part time when he started there.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I don't remember him.
Yeah, you would have been day shift at that point because you took full time before I did.
Well, yeah, I took. Well, I took full time in 2012 when it was first offered to me.
Yeah, and I think he would have worked with us around that point in time.
Hmm.
Where did his brother contact me? His brother contacted me on one of the other channels I have. One second. Let's see if I can figure this one out. Was it the Beer Fest or the Beer Review that he contacted me on? Okay, it wasn't the Beer Festival. Let's go to the Beer Review. Switch accounts, Beer Review.
How's your viewership going this month on
Bolio.
YouTube?
His last name is Bolio.
Was not. Unfortunately, it does not ring any bells to me.
Yeah, you'd probably know him if you saw him, but yeah.
Possibly.
He was midnights the whole time he worked for us.
Yeah.
And he was from Welland and
So 38-16 Winnipeg over Saskatchewan, a minute 28 to go.
there you go. Brian.
Yo. Oh,
Right there.
fuck. Hold on a second here. Let me. You have to send that to me.
Okay. I'll send it to you.
At some point,
But he was a good kid. But he was a kid, and yeah, it was.
It wasn't. Oh, you said it was. He chose to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember there was a kid once. I don't think he worked. I think he was with us, and then he recently left, but he had gotten home from a night of drinking and never woke up or something.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Was
But
that the
that
one,
was
or was it like he was dropped off outside or something?
yeah, I remember it. I don't remember everything about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, the place we worked, there was a lot of sad stories that happened.
yeah. Far more than I'm ever in the loop of because I choose to try not to hear it all.
Well, you can try all you want, but in that place, even with the thousands of employees it had, you heard almost everything at some point.
Yeah. Like, did you, maybe about a month ago, one of our cooks was murdered?
No, I didn't hear that one.
So he was out walking his dogs, and it was
The
that
guy that was
female
stabbed,
serial killer. Sorry?
the guy that was stabbed randomly in Niagara.
Yeah,
Yes, okay, yes, I did hear about that. He
yeah,
was
he was
friends
one
with
of the
Paulo.
he was one of the cooks in one of our restaurants.
Yeah, and it was some random, really weird looking, sketchy lady from Toronto that did a whole bunch of killings in the span of a few days.
Yeah, literally like every 24 hours, she was doing someone.
Yeah, like, and she was only in her 30s, but she looked like she was like 60.
Yeah, she had that.
Drugs is a hell of a thing, man.
She had that fake gangster look going on too.
Yeah. No, drugs are a hell of a thing.
So yeah,
Yeah, there was so many sad stories there, and again, it was one of those things where you would try not to hear it, and you would hear it all the way down to like things like the server that worked with us that ended up getting our manager fired in the end. Like,
yeah.
and as much as people like to make fun of her, I had no problem with her. She was a good lady. She had some problems, but she was a good lady.
Yeah,
I think you know who I'm talking about.
I think so.
Nickname that some people gave her was the Bulldog. And she was one of those ladies that, like, if you drove by her on the street and you saw her from behind, it was like, wow, that's pretty hot. And then you'd see the front and you're like, whoa! But she was amazing. She was an amazing lady at the same time.
Yeah,
And she'd tell you stories about that too. Because she'd walk into work in her outfit and she's like, you know, I'd get honks and all this, and then they'd see me and they'd scream out the window. It's because you're like this big, girl.
yeah.
Oh fuck, that's good.
What was that?
That's the death
The
metal.
nitro?
The nitro death. Oh, that's good.
So what's the nitro part of it mean? Is it just like that extra
It has
bubble stuff?
nitrogen in it.
Okay.
Almost like a Guinness or a Mill Street Cobblestone Stout or stuff like that, but it doesn't have a widget or the cap. It just has nitrogen in it.
Okay. Yeah, because you could add that to any beer, right? If you had the thing
You
up.
could add nitrogen to any beer you want. It's just how you service it to be in there and how
Yeah.
much of it you put in. This still has some carbonation too, like there's carbonation playing across my palate. So that's really, really nice. So my buddy Chris, who I met in, I know a lot of Chris's. My buddy Chris, who I met in Niagara College when he was at the teaching brewery, and he worked across Ontario. When I moved here, I found out he was working here at Regina Brewing Company, and we've been trying to get a interview, like get to know your local brewer, going forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent him a message yesterday. I'm like, hey, do you want to do this? I'm off at this point. I'm off early every day of the week. I have this off. And he's like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. Tomorrow being Sunday.
Yeah.
And they're like, what time Sunday? Nothing. Right? I go, I need to know so I charge up my equipment. What time do you want me to be there? Or we can do it this date, or this date. He goes, oh, and he was laughing. He goes, your wife wants you to go to Santa Claus Parade. I go, that's not really answering the question I have. When do you want me at the brewery? Well, and then finally, like 10 minutes ago, I got a text. Well, tomorrow's kind of chaotic. How about we try next? Give me a fucking time and I'll be there. Or you don't want free publicity. One of the two.
Yeah.
Your brewery's almost going under, so you'd think you'd want the free publicity. Even if I only have like 12 people that watch me from Regina, you think you'd want the free publicity to try and get those 12 people to go drink from you.
Yeah.
Since all you have to do is sit down with me and answer some stupid questions, and you know the questions because you've actually filmed this interview once or twice for me.
Yeah. Well, will you get to do a brewery tour with it too, with the video?
Yeah, we would do that as well.
Yeah.
But I'm like, look, I can make anything work in this span. Give me, and this has been what we've been doing for like months now. It's been like 3 months of I'm off this time, and this time. Okay, let's do it this day. Okay, give me a time. And that day will come and I get nothing. Oh, it's chaotic. Listen, motherfucker.
You
I'm
just
gonna
got to
grab
just
you by your beard and kick you in the fucking nuts. Tell me when you want me there.
You just have to show up there. Tell me that's what you're going to do. You're just going to do a guerrilla style interview where you just show up.
I should just show up with all my camera equipment, be filming like everything, have like a GoPro on my head, have my phone out, be like, hey guys, where's Chris? Tell him his buddy Chad is here, motherfuckers.
They'll start quoting Cheech and Chong to you. He's not here, man. He's not here.
Oh, excuse me. James Reddy Lager. Ooh, look at the big spender. So, my son has been suspended for a week and a half now.
Oh, no.
He brought a knife to school.
Oh, Jesus.
And as most people know, my son isn't all there. He brought a knife to school to protect his friend from getting jumped by somebody. His friend is a degenerate, shall we say. We won't go into anything else, but like I was walking my youngest home one day from school, and his 13-year-old friend's walking behind us screaming, my fucking fingers are so cold, they feel like they're gonna fall off. Oh my fucking God, I'm so cold. It's like +3. And he's smoking as he's walking home from school. Like, I can tell you why your friend was going to get jumped, because your friend is of a certain persuasion, and he fucking said something to somebody of a certain persuasion who comes from a gang of that certain persuasion. Stop hanging out with degenerates. You're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. But yeah, so he's been suspended for like a week and a half because I said some things in our meeting with the resource officer and the principal, and now they're trying to get like all of his fucking school records and all that. And they're like, well, the school he went to in Ontario. I go, what, Deer Lake? No, Assumption. He hasn't been to Assumption in 4.5 years, people. He's lived with me for 4.5 years. Why are you still trying to get those records? Well, we need to get those records. I go, well, those records are going to say he did this, and this, and nobody will respond whether or not that's actually happened or not. We've all asked. Oh, really? Yes. He hasn't had that problem since he's moved with us. So what the fuck? And yeah. Like you have 4 years of school records from Inuit land where somebody stabbed him with a fucking chisel, and fucking a First Nations school, both much rougher schools than you, and there's not one piece of behavioral problems there. But you want to search into the stuff where he was having things done to him by his mother's family. Yeah, there was a lot of behavioral problems at that time. How about we just stop digging into that? Let's stop bringing that up for him.
Yeah. How long is the suspension for?
It was supposed to be over this Wednesday.
Oh.
But it's gone on because they haven't been able to get the records from the school because the school won't transfer the records to them.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like, well, we need these records. And the school's like, we won't transfer them cross province. So it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm like, if he's on suspension indefinitely, I'm finding a new school. And they're like, well, no, we don't want him because they get paid by enrollment, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want him to go. I go, well, then you better find a way to get him back in school because he's been on suspension now for like almost 2 weeks. You've given him 2 days worth of schoolwork in those 2 weeks. He's going to think this is a fucking vacation. And because he's autistic and has ADHD and a whole bunch of other stuff, he's going to start doing these behaviors more often so that you get him off school again. You need to get him back into his routine before he thinks that this is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we need these records. I don't know what the fuck you want. If they're not going to exchange them across provinces, they're not going to exchange them across provinces. They don't want to give them to you because they don't want you to see the discrepancies. That's what it comes down to. Because his mother said that he stabbed a EA with a pencil at one point in school. And I reached out to the school. I'm like, look, we're with some psychologists in this now. Here's our lawyer paperwork that we now have full custody of him. Can you tell us if this happened so that we can tell this to the psychologists? Because we have nothing but his mother's word on it. We've never seen paperwork from you. It's never been any of his report cards. It's never been like, has this happened? And they completely ignored me. I'm like, why are you ignoring me? Like, is there more to this story and you just don't want to tell us because it's fucking stupid and she's going to lose custody of all of her children? Again, crickets. Like, motherfucker.
That sucks that you guys are going through that right now. Hopefully, get all that figured out.
You left high school at about the same time I was entering elementary school.
I was 7 in 1988.
In 1988, I was 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't look old, Dave. That's all that matters. Look what I got. Thanks to Brian.
Nice. I figured you'd like that one.
It's green eggs, sir. Green eggs and ham, not green ham. I don't even know if my buddy Renee still works for them or not. I should try and get a hold of him and see if he works for them still and be like, you know what I really want, Renee?
Another crate.
I want you to send me another crate. I want you to send me another barrel head. Maybe an umbrella. Some glassware. Everything. You know what? I have a passport now. Give me that fucking ticket that your boss offered me all those years ago. Explain what to the old folk? Green eggs and ham? It's a Dr. Seuss book, sir. So your pictures are filling up my entryway and my living room currently. So within the next year or so, I'm going to guess that like between family photos and your photos, most of my walls are going to be covered. And then I don't have to paint them or fix any of the plaster.
You need one behind you in the background or on the wall.
Well, like I said, I have a few over here, but they're like
they're the small ones there by the license plate.
Here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Big ones are upstairs. And then I have the Chris F. Graves sent me these two really old coasters. These stickers came from my stuff from Tatamagouche. This sticker I won at our quarterly business meeting. Like I said, these are from the car. The Ottawa Senators, because the Ottawa Senators, yay, Sens, go Sens, go lose some more.
Where's your White's Tavern sign?
I don't have one anymore.
Oh.
All my fun stuff is gone, man. I had to, because we moved to the Arctic and we got rid of everything, and then her parents sold their house, so everything we kept was gone for the most part, except for like 3 or 4 bins that had pictures and stuff. So the pictures.
Where did they move to?
They sold their house in Welland. They lived with one of Alicia's aunts and uncles for about 6 months. Then they bought a trailer that they lived in for about 5 months while they were looking for a house. So they now live in Van Cleek Hill. My oldest daughter lives with them because she lived with us while we were still in the Arctic and she was going into high school. And they don't have high school in the Arctic, at least where we were. So sent her down to live with her aunt and uncle. Her grandparents. And then when we flew out of the Arctic and moved to Saskatchewan, we're like, "Do you want to come live with us now? We're out." And she's like, "Well, I have a boyfriend, and you know what? I can't spell Saskatchewan. Who wants to live somewhere you can't spell? Like, you could learn to spell it."
Yeah.
Well, I have a boyfriend now, and I can't spell Saskatchewan. Who wants to live where you can't spell? I'm like, okay, as long as your grandparents are okay with it and your mother's okay with it, do whatever makes you happy. If you need us, we love you. We do, like, all that stuff. If that's what you want. And she broke up with her boyfriend, and then she found like 6 other boyfriends, and
oh no.
Yeah, and then her parents are now, or her grandparents are now decided they want to move to Regina because they want to be closer to us and Harlow and Aiden and like the family, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "I don't want to move to Saskatchewan." And her grandparents are like, "Too fucking bad. You're moving to Saskatchewan." And then you have a choice of staying with us or moving back in with your parents. "I don't want to live with either of you." You have no fucking choice in that, bitch. Love you too, Dave. And I mean, it's just funny listening to them go off, right? Like she gets in trouble for I sent her a video once because she skipped school and she got in trouble for skipping school from the school. And her
I'll be right back. I can hear you though.
Sorry?
Said I'll be right back. I can hear you though. Well, I'm just gonna go.
So her grandmother got pissed off because she was skipping school and all that, and Alicia lost her mind on her. And then I sent her a video, and I'm like, "I love you, but if you skip school again, I'm flying to Ottawa to kick you down a flight of stairs. Remember, I love you, but I will kick you down a flight of stairs." And she watched the video because she wasn't allowed to have her phone anymore, and so I sent it to her grandmother. And Alicia's mom's like, "Yeah, you should have seen the smile on her face." Yeah, it's because she knows I'll kick her down the stairs, damn it. I wouldn't kick my daughter down the stairs. She might not have come from my ball sack, but she's my daughter, and I wouldn't kick her down the stairs. I would. No, I wouldn't. No, I'm a disgruntled Irishman, but I love all 5 of my kids equally, whether or not they came from my loins or not. All 5 of them are loved equally. I would do anything for all 5 of them. And even if one of them's complexion proves that she's not mine, I still like to fuck with people. I'm like, "This is my daughter." They're like, "But she doesn't look." But what do you mean she doesn't look like me? Don't you see the family resemblance? Again, my eldest of African American descent and does not look like this. but she is This's daughter. I was there for the formidable years. I was there for a lot of things that happened to her, and I tried to be the best dad I could be. I am stupid strict about some things, and I'm very lenient about others. And I think she's now realized just what I was trying to do with her, and I hope she appreciates everything I've done and everything I'm willing to do. I don't know if she does. I don't know if she ever will, but it is what it is. And if she doesn't, she doesn't. If she does, great. Love her with all my heart, and I love fucking with people that are like, she's not yours. Oh yeah, she's my daughter. What the fuck are you talking about? I love her with all my heart. I love her just like I love all my other children. And I like fucking with people that don't get it. Hey, everybody's invited, Dave. There's nobody not invited. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There is like a couple people that I've met that are not invited. But you're not one of them.
Invited where? I missed this here.
The review.
Oh, okay.
The video, the hangout.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I missed.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people invited. They can come if they want.
Start taking a little survey here. What time at night works better for everybody?
Oh, come on. Nobody wants to fucking come. Nobody
Everybody wants to come. As to if you're included, it's a whole other story.
True dat.
Yeah.
True dat. Well, look, we have the moist rhino chat, as it's called, and there is several people in that chat that aren't allowed to talk to me. So
Yeah.
they're
Did
not
they actually
allowed.
tell you that?
Yes, some of them have told me that there are certain people from my old group that are mad at me that will not let them talk to me, or they won't be their friends anymore.
That's childish, in my opinion, but I don't understand it. But so, how about they get an alter ego? They put a mask on and join us on here.
I'm just messing with you, Dave. I love you. Don't worry. I'm just messing with you. And again, you're more than welcome to join anytime you want. And now that we're only an hour behind each other, it's actually easier because even if I'm closing, if I get home at like 8 p.m., it's 9 p.m. for you. So it's actually easier to get people involved than when I was getting home at 8 p.m. and it was 10 p.m. or vice. We close at 6. I should be done by 7. I'm usually not done till 7:30. And then I get home and, stuff. So it's good. It's good. You lost your glasses. See, luckily for me, it doesn't matter if I have glasses or not. I'm just blind. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there, Brian, and I've had that. That's why Guy's like the only one of the old group that shows up, because Guy's like, I don't fucking care. He's like, it's
That's
stupid.
good.
The others
Beer tube.
Some of the others, I should say, because some of them don't even write in our chat. They're in the chat, but they'll read the chat, but they don't write in it. But some will, be like, hey, they'll talk in the chat, but they won't do anything because, hey, not allowed. Actually, for a while, some of them weren't even allowed to be friends with me on Facebook.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Talk about beer tuber drama.
Yeah, and I mean, somebody that used to work with you is part of that, right?
Oh, that's bizarre.
He was dating a server on Swing.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. him and two other people were the ones that were like, no, you can't talk. And then one of them has like a channel that like pretends to be me when they
What?
do their live stream and comments as if he's me and stuff. It's fun to find that one out. I'm like, really? Because I never had a problem with you at all. Why the fuck have you been trolling me for years? But hey,
Huh.
it is what it is. I can't change it. If you want to be a fucking stupid 40 to 50-year-old man, you be a stupid 40 to 50-year-old man. I'm not going to get bothered by it, but I will, and I won't, because YouTube has these rules that I'm not allowed to drop names. I'll allude to it, but I won't throw it out there.
Just in case you're curious, the Leafs were winners tonight, 4-1.
Do I know Adam? Adam who? I know a lot of Adams.
Adam Bomb. He was a wrestler.
Adam Baum. No, he said Adam, not Atom.
I've decided to.
Hey, have you watched the McMahon thing on Netflix?
I have not even finished the first episode yet. I'm not a Netflix guy.
We watched all 6 episodes together, me and the wife, and even she was calling out stuff. She's like, "But this isn't how this happened. This is why the fuck." But her best one was when they asked if he had raped that woman that charged him back in like the early 90s.
Oh,
like,
that
never happened. And even if it did, the statute of limitations is expired. Like, why the fuck would you even say that?
It's what happens when you have your own world that you create and everyone loves it.
Yeah, no, the whole thing was weird.
I keep meaning to watch it, but I started watching it like the second day it was out, and I started to fall asleep. It was after work, so.
No, I don't know if I know Adams. I know an Adam LaRock who died of a blood clot after getting a COVID vaccine. I know an Adam Larson who bruised. I know a lot of Adams, but I don't know if I know the Adam you are speaking of. The Adam that I know that died, he died because he actually had a heart condition he didn't know about. And his death is what sent another one of my friends off the very deep end to an extent that I have never seen in my life. And I try, because he was a childhood friend that me and him were through a lot. I try to look the other way, but it's really hard with some of the things he says now for me to look the other way. But yeah, I understand that, me, him, and Mr. LaRock were fairly close in elementary school and high school. So I get what happened. And when I moved away, him and Adam became like this. But I can't believe what has happened to him up here because of that. But at the same time, I understand. I can't fathom how it would set you off that much. It's gone. It's gone, man. It's gone. Well, what's our Moist Rhino chat? It has like 15 people in it or something like that. It's me and you. Almost all the time, it's just me and you.
What do you mean it's just me and you?
Like here online, lately it's been like me and you. Sometimes Guy's involved.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Guy, I understand. Guy has a newborn, and he is newly married and everything else, so he does a lot with his wife. But
I don't even look at who the other names are. Do I even know any of the other people in it?
I probably know a few, but not a lot.
Grey Cup's next week.
I know. And
Argo's in Winnipeg.
You know, one of the guys in it, you know his wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know Scott's wife. She's a.
Oh yeah. Lisa.
Yep. Baba Dewey. I don't know a Baba Dewey.
Baba Booey.
Baba
Howard
Booey?
Stern.
Baba
Booey.
I gotta pee again because I broke the seal. You're in charge, Brian.
All right. We'll talk about some CFL football right now. Grey Cup's next week. Winnipeg will be playing Toronto. Toronto lost their starting quarterback in the third quarter to a broken tibia. He's already had surgery on it. There we go. Here's Chad going. He's going to kickstart the motor.
Wait 5 or 10 minutes and then take a move so that when I come up, I'll be up by 9:15 latest. Okay, I'll be up by 9:15 latest. I'm just drinking my last beer, and then I'm coming up. I'm not disappearing till 10 o'clock. Stop arguing with me, woman. I love you.
No, he's coming back. I don't know what we're talking about.
Bye.
Well, there he is. There's a lot of dead air.
Don't get married.
I try not to.
Oh, Uncle Charles. What's going on? I think Dave has found the whiskey. That's what I've decided.
Uh-oh.
So my wife has told me I have till 9:15 or she's coming downstairs and going to bed. Which means I have about 12 minutes.
Okay. So she's going to stay up if you go upstairs?
Yeah, we're going to watch a movie together if I go upstairs.
Oh, okay.
If I stay downstairs, she's coming to bed and not talking to me. And I told her that's not much of a threat, but...
Yeah.
Canadian... I was right! Well, that's good. You know what's even nicer? Mixing that with some soda water.
I just had a Red Bull.
You did not just have a Red Bull at for you 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. I finished that and you're like, oh, so I got 12 minutes to go, guys. I'm like, oh. I'll still fall asleep like a champion.
See, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Caffeine, guava, guara. All that stuff fucking fucks me. Arm wrestle time. Who are you going to beat in arm wrestling? I'm a wimp. You'd beat me.
He's arm wrestling himself.
I hurt my finger. My fingy. This is my second wedding ring since I've been married to my wife. My second.
What happened to the first one?
I dropped it on the floor and couldn't find it, and then I stepped on it and squished it. I actually have the squished ring still because I kept it, but
Couldn't you get them melted together?
I probably could have, but they're fancy rings, right? Like,
Okay.
and for some reason, wearing this ring attracts women. I don't know why. Well, we've talked about it, haven't we? Like all the women that are like, "Oh my god, I think about you all the time," and I'm like, "What the fuck? I haven't talked to you in like 25 years."
Yeah.
Love you too, Dave. Oh, your name just runs through my mind. Hey, Alicia, one of the girls I knew back when I was like 15 is talking to me. She wants to sleep with you. Stop talking to her. No, she doesn't. She's just saying hi to me. Do you want nudies of me? Oh my God, my wife is right.
But the answer is still positive.
It's always been this weird thing of mine, right? Like I stayed married to a woman that I despised solely because I had a lot of mental health issues at the time, and I would rather be with her than be alone.
Yeah.
And then when she left and I started getting help for my mental health issues, there was so many women that were like, "Oh my God, I'll sleep with Santa." And I'm like, there was a lot of women that, like, even on the first date, I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with this crazy anymore. I've dealt with that before." And yeah, it was just weird. And then what happened between me and the bartender that used to work with us was that he made a comment one time when I let him meet my wife, and he's like, "Why would you date her? She's fat."
Oh, that's not cool.
And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And he said it again. I go, "Look, weight can be gained and can be lost." I go, "Look at me." Like, because at that point that's back when I was back in shape. Remember when I came back from my leave of absence and I was like half the man I was?
Yeah.
Like, weight can be gained and weight can be lost. I go, "What's inside you never changes." And I've been in love with that girl since high school. And we just found each other again like 18 years later. He's like, "Well, yeah, no, and that's the last time I really talked to him." And yeah, that's kind of what happened in that. But I'm like, "You ain't no prize chicken yourself, sir. Neither is the woman you're dating." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy is what makes you happy. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have nothing against the woman he was dating. I actually had no problems with her. I know a lot of people thought she was a bitch, but she reminded me kind of of the female version of myself. She was just to the point and everything else, right? Like,
Yeah.
there was no games. It was, I'm blunt. I'm like, I like her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just, it bothered me. It really bothered me.
Well, you had the right to be bothered by it. Yeah, he's a chef. He
Yeah,
runs
he's
a
a chef.
couple restaurants.
He's from Ontario, but he's
From
all
Fort
over
Erie.
Fort Erie, yeah.
Yeah.
And so from our area of Ontario, and the one thing I can say, right, and this comes down to even like Gordon Ramsay and all that. I don't know if I fully trust a skinny chef. I don't know if food is your thing. I don't know if I trust a skinny chef.
Yeah,
But
I would.
Matty Matherson made a lot of money just being like a big tattooed guy that's like, oh, eat my food. But he was always awesome. I loved watching him. I don't know what he's up to nowadays. It's been a long time, but he was always fun to watch.
I think he's still doing TV and has his restaurants.
Yeah, he's big in the US now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Everything that starts really awesome in Canada goes to the US and like falls off. Tom Green, Epic Mealtime, Matty Matheson.
Well, we have our own sense of humor up here. Like,
Did you ever watch Epic Mealtime?
no.
No? You didn't watch
No.
the SASK Boss?
No.
The original, like the first few years of Epic Mealtime were amazing, and then it just got bad. And they were making millions of dollars while living in Montreal doing their videos. And then they moved to Los Angeles. And I don't even know if they still are together or not. But yeah. They were a successful version of Me and My Buddies, but they did food instead of beer. Because they were smart enough to go to something that everybody would get. And they would do things like buy 100 Big Macs and turn it into a giant Big Mac and then eat it.
Interesting.
You should go watch some of the old Epic Mealtime videos. I think you'd really enjoy them.
No.
You got Epic. You got the Sauce Boss. You have what was the sunglasses guy? He didn't ever talk. He just Epic Glasses or something was like. They were all teachers at one point in their career too, before they started doing that.
That's cool.
Tom Green, I grew up in Ottawa. My formidable years, my first 17 or so years of life were in Ottawa, Ontario. And I was about 7 or 8 blocks away from where Tom Green's family lived. I got to see the lesbian mobile. I got to see the the plaid house. I got to see all that. I was at some live events of the Tom Green show on Cogeco 22 in Ottawa. Tom Green was awesome. I liked Tom Green. But that was my young years, right? As I got older, Tom Green was no longer the great thing. Anyway, YouTube, I got to go.
What about Avril Lavigne?
I can next week. Next week we'll tell some Avril Lavigne stories. I can tell some stories Avril Lavigne probably doesn't want me to tell about parties in Arnprior and Almont and stuff that she would show up and do.
Well, like if of age stories, buddy.
I can be your girlfriend. You're too fucking used up, bitch.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Yeah, no.